the show, Dada!
What's good?
Yo!
We out here on a Friday night, baby.
What it do?
Game time. Y'all know what time it is, man. We here for Up2itDown2it. Thank you again for joining us for yet another episode. We here on Friday night now, baby.
That's it.
It's good sandwich.
That's a good sandwich.
We doing it all, man. We doing it all, man. We got Chick-fil-A out here in these streets. You know, we got the
That's it.
big shout out to what was that, DoorDash? Was that DoorDash?
No, it's Chick-fil-A
It
delivery.
was straight to Chick-fil-A delivery. Shout out to Chick-fil-A delivery.
Straight up.
They are charging, but we take it.
We'll take it. It's all right. We're not even going to worry about it. Not going to be too mad. What's good, everybody? So, look, man, we're going to go ahead and start with the introduction real quick. We're going to start on the far on my right over here. Bang! Holla at me, boy.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man, King Rich. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are wine. I'll make sure the text message that I received earlier. It's hashtag sacrifice. Today, make the conscious decision to give everything you have to God, your mind, body, emotions, and your will. This is how to truly worship Him. So, all y'all feeling, some kind of way, man. It's that time to look to Big G.O.D., man. And give it up to Him, man.
Should we have moved the liquor out the way?
I was gonna
This is
say,
communion. What are you talking about?
I didn't know we was going to have a sermon out
This
here.
is
bro.
communion.
Yeah.
Did he not turn water into wine?
We don't know what the wine for their day was.
We don't.
Fairness, you know.
Say drink and be merry.
Just a little hope for somebody out there.
Okay.
Let's get it.
Yeah, no, give the hope.
We out here with it, man. We with everything, man. We got the drinks, we got the hookah over here. Speaking of which, we got the hookah right there in the hands of the moving force. Talk to me, brother.
What up? I'm gonna stand up because y'all got to see the shirt, and it's black-owned business anyway. Black women are dope. Period.
Black women
Okay.
are dope.
So yes, shout out to all black women everywhere. We appreciate y'all who run the world, girls and squirrels. But yeah. And we'll be on. So this evening we got ready for the show with Up2itDown2it. And if you're looking, I'm all about finding a good price point and good flavor. So we tried the mango and we got the peach on here. This is comparable to Crown Royal, and the reason I went looking for it is because Crown was Crown Peach, higher than the other crowns.
Big
so
price.
Ensign is fantastic. Peach right here, they got the mango right here, and they just dropped the watermelon for summer, so that'll be coming soon. These are $20 a bottle. A lot cleaner as a product in Crown Royal, because some of the things that we pay for in terms of labels, you're like paying for a bunch of junk. So this is a much purer whiskey with a ton of flavor and good aromas. So that's what we own. But of course, we got a good old faithful Maker's Mark. It ain't open, but that ain't gonna stay that way through the show.
You can never go wrong with the Maker's Mark.
Enjoy.
You never go wrong.
It's a whiskey night. It's a whiskey.
We ain't even really got started yet. Y'all get ready. Y'all get ready for us, man. It's time. All right, cool. To my right, Kamikaze, talk to me, brother.
What it is, what it do, people. Good to see y'all back. Welcome to the party. If you got anybody new coming in, welcome to the fam. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and comment. Stay active because we want to hear from y'all. Look, if you're good, I hope all of you are doing good. And if you're not okay, it's okay because we're going through this thing called life together. I'm just telling you, if you're feeling down, look to somebody. Don't just keep it to yourself. Talk. We're here to listen. What up?
Damn, I kind of feel bad. You over here giving sermons, you over here giving people self-help. I feel bad doing all this drinking and smoking and all that, especially because I ain't about to tell y'all none of that. If you got problems, that's your own fault. No, I'm playing. I'm kidding. What's good, everybody? I know me, the Punisher, the great and terrible trade. Y'all know what it is, man. Hey, look, I hope everybody, I do actually hope everybody's in good spirits, man. Got to get into it. Ready, get your drinks ready. And your drinks do include water, ginger ale, and sparkling cider.
Whatever you need.
Oh,
we forgot the wine.
Oh, we didn't talk about the wine.
Man. So I said I would do a wine because I wanted, you want to feel, like it ain't got to be hard liquor. So my Vasquia de Casorso is a fantastic bottle. It's a sweet red, but it's absolutely fantastic. Price point of $8.99 at Total Wine. Shout out to Total Wine because they got all the deals. So if you're looking for a wine that's not too expensive, but got a lot of flavor, this is a good way to go. I told y'all I'm gonna find y'all all the deals, okay? All the deals, because gas is $800 a gallon, so you gotta save money in other places.
It's a galactic standard minimum of $800 a gallon.
Plus tax.
Shout out Biden inflation. Hey, all right. Anyway, you never know what's up with it. So we about to get into our first topic here, man. What we got here? We got the there's a lot of things are happening.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Stuff that came up actually, since our post-show or pre-show meeting rather, things even came up before that. So we're gonna try our best to stay on topic.
But the world is ghetto.
The world is ghetto, man. Say it again for the people.
I'm in the ghetto. Okay.
Y'all ain't know y'all was gonna get some opera singing. You ain't know you were gonna get some opera. You ain't know you was gonna get some church. We got the message over here. We got drinks. We got everything, man. It's a variety show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, which one y'all? What y'all feel like jumping with?
Can we please start with the downfall? The downfall in the Cardi B.
Oh boy. Okay. The Twitter fingers.
Twitter fingers. Trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers.
My goodness. How far is too far? We go right back to that. Let me see if we get that back up.
Okay.
Let's get back to that again, man. I think it was a couple weeks ago talking about that.
Yeah. Right.
And that's the wildest part, people who feel like because they have algorithms and that this is not what he did. That we can do and say, but the internet is fast and swift. Black Twitter never fails. And Cardi B, she claps back.
So let's give some backstory. Get some backstory behind it because I don't really know too much about this. Give some backstory.
All right, so the young lady that you see at the bottom, where it says "What party needed?" Cardi B had put some things out there that she was gonna bless people with the Cash App, and Cardi B has been really fantastic. The Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, they a lot of donations to people via the Cash App, but even as far as the textbooks, how students they cleared some tuition bills and things like that. So Cardi B does a lot, but I guess this girl on this particular day didn't get enough attention. So she dropped a tweet and said, I'm, praying on the downfall, and listed a plethora of people, which included Cardi B, and a host of others, and not just people, but things that she wanted to have downfalls.
On the downfall? On the downfall?
Yeah, it's actual.
We got that actual list right here.
Read it off.
We'll read it off. Talk to me.
Downfalls I'm plotting on: Apple, Elon Musk, Cardi B, Johnny Depp, Charlamagne.
Hold on, man. Hold on. You ain't about to plot on the downfall of Jack Sparrow, dog. He just got off. You'll remember that day that you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow.
Let's see who else is on the list. Charlamagne, Jennifer Lopez, Amazon.
How you pray on Amazon downfall? Amazon's at the doorstep. Man, stop playing.
On time.
Amazon is already taken over. They got Amazon Studios. Like, come on. What are you
They open up grocery stores.
Can't talk about Amazon's Jeff Bezos' downfall. That what we're doing?
Tory Lanez.
Now, Tory Lane's downfall, it might be necessary, but that's another topic for another day.
I mean,
Continue.
Jared Leto, Amy Schumer, Fox News.
So she ain't all wrong, but she still did go a little too far.
Y'all gonna stop talking shit. Y'all gonna stop talking trash about Fox News. Y'all gonna stop talking trash about Fox News. Fox News to tell y'all some stuff. I'm trying to tell you
And
something.
she misspelled Aquafina, but
She really did.
She
She
be pushing it.
Aquafina.
She spelled Aquafina like a ghetto girl name. We just
Isn't that how she spelled it? Is that not
This
how she
must be
spelled it?
page 2 of her downfall.
No,
because
straight
spell
up.
check must have been on the first one.
Not straight up though. How does Aquafina spell her?
She spelled Aquafina AWKWAFINA.
somebody's daughter is named Aquafina. I can guarantee you, it's spelled just like that. If you check her birth certificate, you're gonna find that Aquafina.
Right there with Brian.
If you out there, you know she's plotting on you.
But see, here's where she went wrong. When she mentioned Cardi B's name, the internet doesn't forgive and it doesn't forget. And so Cardi B, which is the screenshot you see, went back and screenshotted a point where the same girl who's plotting on her downfall was asking for Cardi B to send her money. You can't have it both ways.
Oh, so that's what this web party.
Yeah, that was her dropping her hashtag because she wanted Cardi B to bless her bank accounts. So I don't know if it's because
not get paid.
I don't know, but you can't be asking for help and praying on somebody's downfall. We just, and praying on the day, like when we pray, it's not for the destruction of people. We're supposed to pray for people to prosper. So it's just all kinds of wrong.
I don't get that. Hey, Friday night, we about to head y'all in here. Come on, somebody.
Hey, come on, somebody. God help us.
Random moment. Y'all see me looking for the lightning?
Oh, it's right next to us. Come on.
Don't worry. It's gonna be coming from you.
What you about to say?
No. I mean, what I'm saying is, so why would you pick on a celebrity who has a far greater reach than you, has way more followers than you, and then apply on their downfall, and then after you did, let me get this back up on the screen real quick. After you then said, and I quote, when you say you need the cash app, you basically put your cash app out here and ask for it. And you praying on somebody's downfall. If they have their downfall, you know what they're not gonna be able to do? Have your candy ass. You be able to cash out your candy ass, nothing. That is crazy, guys. That's wild.
And it's always the comment, eat your kind of comments. So that, even if Cardi B had said nothing, the fact that she went for Cardi B's fan base is going to meet her right at the point of petty. It's just certain celebrities you don't bother. You stay away from Beyonce, because Beehive stings and they sting hard.
They're coming for you. They're coming at you.
You stay away from Cardi B. You stay away from Nicki Minaj. Black women as artists that are at the top of their game have fan bases that are they rival nothing. So please understand that when you come incorrect, they're going to correct you and fight with you.
This is what that culture of people who it's too far. People say things too far. Some of y'all got a sense of opinion
And entitlement.
Entitlement. It's very much an overplayed sense of entitlement, man. And everybody, see, there's some of y'all out here real crazy. Some of y'all really out here that is the end all be all.
It's golden.
It's
platinum. It's up here.
It's gas.
It's got to be
It's gas right now. It's gas.
$800 a gallon.
It's gas.
$800 a gallon gas.
And again, as much as Black women struggle, to feel like they're equal and feel loved and appreciated, like this. I mean, just to have, even as small scale as this, have a Black woman attack another Black woman who has done a ton for, community with her giving, like it's just baffling. But it kind of, goes to show you, like, this is what people see about us, and then take it, and run with it. Just because we don't get what we're looking for, we're going to destroy each other. And I think we're missing a lot by doing it.
Yeah. I got a question. You just said something important. Women are struggling out here to, feel loved, accepted, and appreciated, and all of that. Why do you think that is, number one? And number two, do you think that that's the majority of women, or that's a small, loud minority?
It could be a mix. I honestly think it could be a mix of people. So, there are people who will very loudly say that they aren't supported. But, there are very, two cases of not seeing that support. I think of when Monique took issue with Netflix and not feel like she wasn't receiving equal compensation.
She just had another issue too recently with Hughley, I think.
You might be right. I don't know much about that one, but you might be right. But it's like when she came out and said it, people kind of beat up for looking at Netflix and she that they were given and run with it. But Monique's catalog, demands that she should receive it as time went on. Now we're starting to see that Netflix really did play her, with offers that they were making her. But of course, it just didn't seem like that at the time. So a lot of people beat up on her. So I think you do see cases where it is very extreme and unnecessary, but also very valid. So I think it can be both of those things.
But you've been quiet in this talk.
Man, can already hit my nail on the head.
You got the deal.
But I did pull up the deal. Now, what's going on is backlash between Monique saying that pretty much D.L. Hughley and Steve Harvey lied on her about her contract. So it's just a dispute between contracts right now.
Contracts for
Yeah, what is that about?
So the article I have is from Vibe, and it says Monique continues to lash out at comedian D.L. Hughley since the pair's text, words, and documents over conflicting contractual agreements. Continuing at Los Angeles Hughley, she took a step further by bringing Steve Harvey into the mix, accusing Harvey and Hughley of spreading mistruths about her during a sit-down interview with Kings of Comedy. In an hour-long Instagram live, Monique, joined by her husband Sidney Hicks, began publicly addressing her issues in her stand-up performance on Sunday. She revealed she wanted him to be in the vicinity of that and spoke her piece.
Did you read this part? Later, Hughley a bitch nigga. I didn't say it. I want to say right there.
If y'all see us looking up, it's because we're looking at the job.
Make sure that we can see what's going on. She called him a bitch nigga. His sexuality. Damn. For contract dispute. Well.
So maybe first.
What part did you get? I'm trying to show them where you was at. We both. Try to say, y'all.
A lot of
I ain't gonna sit up here and read all of this. Y'all check it out. Y'all see it's on Vibe, right? Y'all see it right there. Yeah, DL posted this on his Instagram page here too. Then he said after this, I don't want to hear no more about this.
This is on the low.
Yeah. That guy's a comedian. He's a king of comedy. I don't know if they heard that. But the only thing Black Guy is personal bank info. Pay attention to the headliner, highest paid artist on the show. Understand have a lineup of the show. D.L. Hughley closing. That would actually lead me to believe that D.L. Hughley is the headliner. Yeah. What the fuck are we talking about then?
And this is why I say some of it is legit, and some of it is just an ego.
I think that's the problem. Really, is that it becomes harder and harder to tell which one is which. You know what I'm saying? Are the claims that are being legit, or are they a result of ego, narcissism, things of that nature. Are we making up stuff because it's sexy? Like, the drama's sexy. Are we saying stuff like this because drama's sexy, and now we got somebody talking about you?
I think a bit of drama is sexy, but I think there also could be some triggers that are relative to previous experiences. So, even if it's not happening, if something happens in the midst of what you've experienced before, then you can misdirect your anger. So, again, with receipts here, she definitely isn't wrong. But again, to go back to the Netflix part, when you've been dealing with companies and contracts and you feel, misrepresented, undervalued, then some things can trigger you. But, God and therapy.
Well, that's why.
Well, we're back to that.
Yeah.
Back to that.
That's why you also got to get the
Therapy.
right people around you too, though. I mean, you got to get the right people around you to make sure your head's
Change
on
up that
straight.
echo chamber, yeah.
Make sure you're not saying some things that's just off the wall. You got to get the right people around you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. Yeah, I don't know who she has around, but I'm just saying, right?
Your team matters.
Somebody to check you.
Your team matters.
Also, I think it's kind of like a trigger of women having to fight for more pay in industry all across the spectrum. Compared to a lot of men make money, which she is triggered by because she's been triggered by.
Okay. I'm gonna throw this question out there. Do women really pay less than men for the same exact thing with the same exact experience?
In the entertainment industry, I would say yes.
You think
Just
so?
because, like, it's not, like, there's not a set number for, what I'm saying? Like, being in education, like, it's based on your years experience and the amount of education that you have. So those variables determine what you get. And when you go into entertainment as a solo, artist or act, you get to say, I'm not doing less than this, or, but also, like, companies will make offers that they decide, this is our standard for whatever, based on whatever. So,
It was based on how much profit they're gonna make after giving you whatever you asked for.
yeah, so, but
It's similar. It almost sounds similar to the WNBA argument.
I think it's a little different
The
than
money's
that.
got to
But
come.
it's different than that.
I think it's a little different.
This thing, right? Because unless you go up and ask, like a DL, a Steve Harvey, Denzel Washington, how much did you make for this movie? Then, if you're a female and you get offered something, if you don't have anybody in your corner to say, that's not what so and so, that's not what the average is. Like, you almost have to make sure you're prepared when they are offering these things, right? So is it that they're making less because they're women, or making less because they're accepting what they're being given? I'm just asking that question.
That could be a thing.
I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm just asking that question. Is it they're being paid necessarily lower, or is it that they don't have the correct representation that can back them and say, "Oh, wait a minute, because so it made $25 million for this."
But what I'm saying is, Monique Denzel Washington, or you. What I'm saying is, like, and I'm not just saying Monique, any of them. So for you to compare yourself to a Denzel Washington has paid his dues. Denzel Washington is going to sell out. They're going to make that profit back and then some because his name is on the marquee. Because his name is on the marquee. Is your name big enough to guarantee?
I actually, for Monique, to say yes, because she is an award-winning, well-resumed, and I mean, she
award-winning,
but I'm saying Academy Award winning. So it's not like she won an MTV award. You know what I'm saying? After Pressure, she's Academy Award winning.
Yeah.
So like when you reach what a lot of people would consider the pinnacle, now my prices do go up. So like I don't want you to shortchange me knowing that I am up here. You know what I'm saying? So like, she's received the same awards. It's maybe not as many, but kind of like once you're all NBA, your contract now says I'm getting this. So once I get an Academy Award, once I get an Emmy, an Oscar, like then you can't bring me down from that.
I mean,
who?
I mean, but can't. Well, okay,
I guess my question is right. Who's on the committee that says, "Oh, this person should receive an Academy or Oscar"? Right? Versus, you know, because I never did a survey to say, yeah, I think, you know, Monique. You know,
we're only one shot in, 2 shots in.
I haven't, done a survey. I don't feel like I've had any input on somebody winning an Oscar or winning an Academy Award. So it's that award, based on those peers, right? Versus, who has he reached internationally versus who has someone like a Denzel reached internationally. And I think that's what kind of your point was as far as pulling in, like, if you got PL or somebody else doing a movie, right? Yeah. You're not just going to need ticket sales from those people on the board picking who wins the Oscars, who wins the Academy Awards, right? You're going to need everybody, on international levels, right, to gross all of that income. I think that was more so his point on that level. Is he able to reach all of those people? Now,
is he able to make that kind of money to reach all those kind of people? It's really, it all boils down to the money. Ultimately, it boils down to the money. They'll pay you whatever your dollar amount is to be able to make over that in profit. You know what I'm saying? But if your movie may or may not pay, again, Denzel Washington is probably gonna guarantee whatever profit he's gonna probably be worth because he's established. He'll probably be worth whatever he so asked him.
So is she on the same playing field as he is?
That's deep though.
Yeah, because that's what the feud really.
Well, I mean, maybe I don't know. Like,
now, yes. But since then, I would say yes. But the one thing that it made me think of, though, just in how like contract people can be a little shiesty. Scarlett Johansson, with the way Disney did her, they said you're gonna get this money based on like movie ticket sales, and then they ended up releasing the movie by stream. So she, because she lost money because they basically undercut her by going a different route. So I can't believe that companies would, take a dirty route to, cut your money but save theirs. Yeah. So I think it's a lot that goes into it. So like I said, I can understand the triggers that go along with it, but you also have to place your anger in the right places. And it seems like, based on the contract, that her anger maybe was misplaced.
Yeah, I agree. Especially DL's closing out the show. I don't know. Y'all let us know in the comments. Y'all let us know what y'all think. I don't know that Monique on the marquee will sell as much as a DL. I don't know. I could be wrong. Y'all let me know. That's good. Y'all good with that with us? We good on that?
Yeah. I think, this discussion.
We didn't up to that about.
Well, we've been up into it before we started the show. We gave y'all a free.
That was a free. Go ahead, maybe these 3 or 4 shots.
But I think this is a good place to get it because there are a lot of places where men, going so far as the question, if we even deserve a Father's Day.
Man, listen, and that's really where the problem is, right? So before we get started with that, I just want to say big shout out to the win for the men. Big shout out to the win for the men. The day you almost caught. Captain Jack Sparrow. But seriously though, as we started out this morning, this show, talking about, want everybody to be good. We hope you guys all day. Yo, fellas. We matter too. And y'all need to know what some people, it ain't everybody, but y'all need to know what some people really think about us. So let's get right into it, man. Men to ground. That's right. That's right. Hashtag men too.
Up to it. Let's go. We up to it.
I'm still shaking my dreads.
So, who want to kick this one off, man? Who want to kick this one? You want to get on this one?
I'm not touching this.
Oof.
This is an ugly one, y'all. This is an ugly one.
You got the. Yeah, because.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
This one's
smash this.
Because you have to see the clip to understand.
Y'all,
English.
Down bad, bro. Down bad.
the thing is, y'all,
Audacity's on clearance.
seriously. Look, I just want to say big shout out to my wife, because I could not be out here dating now.
This dating scene.
It's dating scene.
Let's get it. The dating crew has pee in.
Oh my God.
So, and this is not the view of all women. This is, we just want to shine a light because there are some out there that have this perception that believe,
men don't deserve
a Father's Day.
Like so far as we don't deserve a Father's Day, we don't deserve nothing. Like, all right, so look, real quick, like y'all heard, the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case. You heard her verbally on audio say that nobody's gonna believe you because you're a man. I can do this to you. You can tell anybody that I did this stuff to you. Nobody's gonna believe you because you're a man.
But shout out to Johnny Depp.
Shout out to Johnny Depp. But that is a problem because that is an overarching feeling that certain women, it ain't all of you, but certain women feel entitled like they can get away with anything and say any old thing, and that's a problem. We about to put a stop to all of that. So fellas, yeah. I mean, I can't. Let's get it.
It still, but I think you should celebrate your father on your father's birthday. I don't think that fathers deserve a whole Father's Day. Mothers deserve a Mother's Day. Y'all treated on a birthday, and they deserve. I think.
I really want to say that. I think.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying not to get angry.
I'm sorry. I'm about to be an angry drunk. We're about to be angry drunk.
Be angry.
The host says it all.
Big shout out, what's her name? ZZ is her name? Big shout out to her. Big shout out to her.
She's got
I think fathers only deserve their birthday.
I don't think fathers, all the great fathers, specifically, don't have the best connection with your father. The fact that he chose to his seed to your mother is something that you should be.
Hey, I'm sorry. Hey. Listen. And he chose to give his seed to your mama is enough. Listen, look. Get real close to the mic and say that y'all realize y'all ain't got no men, right? Like seriously, y'all realize your life was in your day. That's it.
Can I get the mic for an ASMR?
All the way there.
You do an ASMR moment.
That's
In other words, if your daddy didn't look at your mama and say, hey, all right, anyway, you wouldn't be here.
The fact that you were there, that they give this do sperm donations, you did not have to be brought into this world with this mother. Do you understand that? You should be thanking your father. If you're so thankful for your mother and your father didn't do much, well, why don't you at least thank him for making this your mother? Because
Listen,
she preaching better than we say.
better than we say it, amen. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen in the comments? I get an amen in the comments. Oh my goodness. This is crazy talk we talking here, man. These some of now, and again, it's not everybody, but seriously, man, some of y'all disrespect literally your creator, like the person that gave you life. You would not have any life if it wasn't for your father. Y'all need to treat your father with respect. I ain't saying that just because I am a father. I mean, seriously, I wouldn't be here without my father. None of us would be here without our father.
So I have to, and so like I have no relationship with my father whatsoever. And literally, again, God in therapy, I had to take my lack thereof with my father to therapy. However, I also realized, one, I would not be here if it were not for my father having sex with my mother. Like, that's the bare minimum. So I got to give him that.
You chose your mom.
You know what I'm saying? And on the other side of that, because I had an example of what not to do, I am a greater father as a result of it. So,
Super
thing. This dude is like on point. Like straight up, this dude is on point as a father. Like straight up, man. Straight up. See him with his son. Follow him on his IG if you want, man. But this dude takes care of his kid. He handles his business, man. Like, it's an example, man.
Yeah, and so to say that we only deserve to be celebrated on our birthday is a slap in the face for fathers who show up every day, who make an attempt to show up every day, because there are contentious relationships that keep fathers away from their children when they want to be present. So like to say that fathers, like to make that all statement, and I hate every statements, because that means that you've surveyed 100% of, you've seen every single all across the world, to say that every single person doesn't deserve to be celebrated on a day other than their birthday, or if you're going to give them that, then they only deserve a pancake breakfast and not an entire day. Like, is the wildest thing to me, because there's nothing more important in this life to me than my child, and making sure that he's raised in the ways that he should go. So like, not that I do it to be celebrated, but I think we as fathers, present godfathers, present uncles, present, teachers, present community members, like, deserve to be celebrated for the role that we play.
Yeah. I would say we at least deserve to be celebrated at the same level.
Yeah. I mean, father figures, right?
Yeah.
Because again, right, some people grow up without their fathers, but you have community, right? Community fathers. You have people, whether it's in church or school or whatnot. You got kids that look up to their teachers. You know what I'm saying? Even teachers, they're providing more than their parents.
Yeah.
Spending more time in school. Are you saying your parents? They shouldn't be, uplifted? Thanked. They shouldn't have a day. Come on.
It's absurd. It's absurd.
For me, it's kind of crazy that you have people out here that still don't take the time to see another perspective. Just like you have women out here taking care of their children, and men who take care of their children. You still have to think. You have single mothers just as well. You have single fathers out here doing it, making sure their kids get to school, get a proper education, feeding them, bathing them, giving them the support that they need. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm calm about it. That pisses me off. Like, to say that a man should only be celebrated on his birthday and that's it. Man, you got men bending over backwards to take care of their kids.
I just want to
make so many sacrifices to be there, to give that support, to give so much that their kid needs. And you want to downplay it and just say, celebrate him on his birthday?
Only on his birthday.
The one day.
But
only on his birthday.
You got mothers out here.
You got no Christmas for you.
No Christmas for you.
Mothers that are out there.
Forget the leap years.
Right.
Playing the active role. Saying, I need money to take care of the kids. You stepping out the house with Prada pumps on. Dressed to the nines, and your kids running around here looking like they just got cast to play in the orphanage. Andy.
Spending some of that money on your boyfriend.
So I mean, make sense.
Are you spending your child support money on your boyfriend?
When your boyfriend who ain't got no job.
He ain't got no job. He got a little piss poor job.
He asking the whole jet car so he can drive you to work.
That's crazy.
And then drive around with a side chick and don't put no gas in your car. Well, I said that out loud, my bad.
Go ahead. Hold on,
what time you get off?
Exactly.
Then we say you might need two for this one. Go ahead, pull me one. We might need two for this one. We got to go back to it though, but like that just the audacity, man.
Reggie Reyes, we see you, baby.
Yes, what up, man? We see you, brother.
We not about to play with it. I mean, just
He is the only reason.
the media will let you all good, but the media will let you believe that fathers are not present, but the statistics show that there's an overwhelming presence of fathers, and I mean like fathers who literally do it all, who pick the kids up, drop the kids off, read to the kids, spend time with the kids, take the kids to the park, take them to church, take them to visit family. Like fathers are more present now than ever before,
especially black fathers.
Especially black fathers.
Black fathers.
So again, you cannot let the statistics of that are made up, because this is fake news, make you believe that we are not present, because we are there. We are doing the groundwork. We are making sure that our kids are presented with the very best that we can give them, and greater than what we can give them, so that their lives are set up better than ours. So no, we not.
There is a side out there, guys, that wants you to continue to believe that you are the victim. Okay, it's time for us to rise up, stop being victors. All right, stop being the victim. And let's see what else today you got to say. Now,
Mother, do
you
realize that?
A whole day. That's just how I really feel. Yeah, maybe single fathers, maybe.
Fathers, maybe.
Maybe single father.
So I gotta ask. Wow. What would a single mother? What would a single mother do that a single father would?
Cry that I have crowed.
I mean, literally, besides from actually being able to breastfeed, because men don't breastfeed, we don't care what your ideology says.
Not all women breastfeed.
Oh, okay.
I understand what you're saying, but aside from it.
But I'm saying, like that's literally the one thing. Like, what would a single mother do that a single father wouldn't or can't do? Oh, maybe single fathers. Fellas in the comments, man, help us out, man. Help us out.
Maybe. Women in the comments, help
Ladies
us out.
in the comments, help us out, man.
Because we believe that y'all are here because you're more sensible than clearly this woman is. She had a quaalude.
At least.
Single father day.
Single Father's Day. What? Girl, just come out with the drama. Okay, just come on out and tell us what your.
Okay, just come on and tell us what your daddy did to you. That was
God in therapy. God in therapy.
See, that's what we started off with.
That's it. Yeah, we know what it is.
Yeah, we know what it is.
They all talk.
So damn traumatized.
They all
you believe all your and they don't deserve a Father's Day at all. Except for because mother isn't involved.
Y'all be there. Y'all just be there.
just be there.
half of us can't be there no way.
Okay, hold on. But what do you mean y'all just be there? Like,
I got two problems with that.
Because if I'm there, I'm
there.
It's like, what do you mean just be there? Like, while I'm just there, I'm cooking meals. While I'm just there, I'm reading books. While I'm just there, I'm working on sign language. While I'm just there, I'm going over, like sight words. And while I'm just there, I'm teaching my son how to pray. While I'm just, what is just there?
But like, if you're not doing, I mean, I'll there's most likely do some variation of those things. But even if you're not doing all of those things, you're there to show them what right looks like, to show them who they are, to show them where they come from. All of those things that are important. That's why fathers matter.
Yeah, let's go beyond that. She said just there, right? At a certain time, right? The child, in my opinion, right, belongs with the mother up until a certain age. Now, my job is to protect, provide, and make sure everything is stable right now. Right. And the child needs that mother for nourishment and things of that nature. Because after that certain time, there's going to come a time where now I need to step in with more of that harsh, let's go out in the wilderness type.
Because you need to know how the world actually works at a point. At a point, all
The
that,
world ain't
all
going
that
to treat
content,
you like you want.
all that content and breastfeeding and all that stuff. That's great. We need that. People need that. But at a point, you have to figure out how to get your ass out there and get it. Man, let me get that.
So the wildest part, like even before I became a father. So I like to call after I say this. Even before I became a father, I was teaching on the Eastern Shore for 5 years. I was one of 2 black males in the building in a predominantly white school. Whenever there was a need for disciplinary action, if ever there were the 2 most feared men, most revered men, most respected people in the school were the 2 black men who were actually teachers of art subjects. I was the choir director and my frat brother was the band director. We dealt with kids we didn't teach to help other teachers work out discipline. Yeah. And I hate to say it, but they were white women. They did not know, one, how to deal with their own kind, so white male and female kids, and didn't know how to deal with our kind, black male and female kids. So they got sent to us whether we taught them or not. The presence of a man is invaluable. Yeah. You know, so like I'm gonna like this quote.
Look, we've been talking. I'm gonna give it a second for you. So give you a second to come on back. We've been talking about this though, like the destruction of the family, the destruction of the black family, the destruction of our community. Understand something. The community starts with the head of the household, which is the father. Okay? That's what it is. It starts with the head of the household, which is the father. You take the fathers out of the household, you destroy the family. You destroy enough families, you destroy the community. You destroy the community enough, you ultimately destroy the whole people, the people as a whole. Right? This is the problem. We as a whole, I don't say we as a whole, there are people who don't respect the office, don't respect the sanctity of being a father. There are fathers who don't respect it too. But there are a lot, I'm seeing more and more kids, I'm saying kids respectfully, right? At 20 something probably, right?
They're still growing up with their kids.
They're growing up, they're not only growing up with their kids, but they're growing up with no respect for the people that created them. Like they're growing up with little respect for their moms and no respect for their dads. This is a problem, right? How do you not respect what created you? The Bible says, honor your father and your mother so your days will be long on this earth.
Big facts.
Let me say it again. It say, honor your father and your mother. All right. So your days are long. Okay. It also says, by the way, fathers provoke not your children to anger. That's another conversation. We'll get into that.
Oh man, that's another.
Fathers don't provoke your kids to anger, which is also, because I don't want to take fully away from her trauma, because this is clearly a woman who's traumatized. I don't want to take fully away from that. But fathers, we're not supposed to provoke our children to anger either.
Yeah.
Right. So there's some multifaceted things. There's some responsibility. Yes, they need to respect us, but there's some responsibility on our part too, that we got to make sure that we take back. If that doesn't happen, we can kiss our communities goodbye. Go on, tell him, Kev. Talk to him, Kev. Talk to him, Kev.
What he said.
Okay, y'all see, I say it's my drink. Man, this shit got me so mad. I feel like I had to give a big shout out to all the dads that's out there.
Shout out this shot. This is a dad shot. I took my shot. This is a dad
go
shot.
For another one.
Yeah, let me get some dad shot.
Before the shot, I still,
Y'all get y'all cups ready, man. We about to take a dad shot.
Y'all shoot for us.
And now we don't need to. Hold on, I'm gonna put this up here. This is funny. You making fun of my hookah over here, I think.
Listen, we got that COVID filter going in here.
Yeah, no, we good.
Yeah, we got the air freshen everything. We good. Appreciate you, Reggie Reg. I believe you, Reggie. Yes, use.
Oh man, we got
you.
We gonna have to get Reggie Reg on the show. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, man.
Is there more food that's coming out of her mouth?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's more. Oh, there's more.
So before we get to the book,
there's more.
This is for the dads, the fathers,
the present ones, because I got no respect for the ones that ain't present.
Doing it. being the greatest father figures anybody could ever have.
That's right.
And doing it not on a court order.
Yup. Up to it, down to it. I know what it is, man.
Y'all doing it because y'all know what to do. Cheers to y'all, bro. That's on everyone. Love it.
Just kind of point out is that, you know, my child growing up, right? You also, I think I touched on it on a previous show before, right? Is we also don't know what led up to the father being the way that he was, you know.
That's valid.
And as kids, we don't know in that moment. And did we process those emotions? Did we find out? Did we whatever it was? So obviously, she's got some things that she needs to work out.
Yeah.
Let's go back to it.
Yeah, man. Lots and lots of trauma here, man. And you can really see it, man. Because trauma all talks the same. When I say they all talk the same, I'm talking about it's a spirit. It's a spirit, and that spirit talks the same way, no matter who it's in. But we gonna say,
Like, for real. And if you're
Really?
every time.
Every time she says that, I want to punch her in the mouth. I'll just be there. What? I'll just be there. What?
that is
Just be there,
So,
especially on his birthday. That is highly offensive. Number one, why is it, especially when it comes to black men,
number one,
it's like they can't catch a damn break. Oh, ain't involved. Oh, y'all do it. Oh, y'all bad, y'all inconsistent. Y'all don't even be in the house. Y'all da-da-da-da, even though statistics say otherwise. When they are in the house and they're there, their presence, y'all just be there. What?
y'all just see it.
So what do you want? He can't just be
Same
there.
way.
What else is he not be there? Yes, he's be there. What are you talking about? Nothing else happens if he's not there. If he's not just there. Are there some mothers who are present in their children's lives? But obviously, yes. That's just parenthood in general, though. You have parents in general. If we being moment, if the father is there and he's present, if he's neglectful, it's working outside the time. Maybe you have fathers who was truck drivers who be gone for like a week, come back a little, whatever the case may be. Maybe they work night shifts, they sleep a lot through the day, then they get up at night and a couple before they got other things done. So a lot of the times when it comes to men, it's for work, which is
If we be honest, when it comes to men, it's for work, which is
That triggered a thought for me real quick, fellas. Y'all roll with me on this, right? I'm with you. So, right, you're right. My bad. We live. All right, cool. Look, so that just kind of triggered a thought for me real quick, right? So, when women go to work to get the bag, who's the bag for? Usually for them, right? So like usually, not obviously not everybody, right?
Yeah.
They go get the bag. They get the bag for them, so they can say, "Hey, nah, I got the bag on my own. I'm a boss, bitch." All that good stuff, or whatever they call it, but they want to call themselves. When a man is out here going to get the bag, what's it usually for? Everyone. It's usually for the family.
Yeah. Foundation.
It's usually for the women. The majority, again, are there ancient dads out there? Yes. Are there ancient moms out there? Absolutely. But if we're being honest, right, you got the extreme 10 and the extreme, and you got the 80 in the middle.
Right. Because our goal is to
Provide.
Right. So yeah, absolutely.
That's it, man. We out here trying to provide. Like, so when men are up, there was a meme I saw not too long ago where it was talking about the man being up at night And the woman thought that he was up at night stressing, thinking about another woman. And the whole time he was up at night stressing, thinking about how he was going to get the bag for the next day, so that his wife or his girlfriend, I guess his girlfriend and his kids were okay. That's another problem with your wife and kids. There's a whole conversation we'll get to. But all those things are vitally important, man. And men absolutely, what I said, men absolutely are out here fighting for the bag, for the family, the good one. I believe it's 78% of Black men specifically are involved in their child's life in some capacity, either as co-parent or married. Something like that. 78%.
We're there.
We're there.
Sometimes I think what it is, the media loves so the loudest ones, right? They get all that media attention.
Yeah.
And they're all the bad presenters,
And that's literally not it. But and to that point, we have to make a conscious decision to elevate the positive.
Yeah.
If we start showing present Black fathers, and this was actually one of my favorite things. Express Yourself Black Man. Shout out to them on Instagram, and I don't know them personally, but it's one of the pages I follow. And the guy that runs the page, he got on and he said, something to the effect of, if you follow negativity, all you're going to see is negativity.
Yeah.
And in that same post, he tagged maybe 10 different pages that were all about positive, influences that were Black males or Black male, oriented. I literally went and followed all of those pages because I want everything that's around me to be a positive influence. These dudes aren't welcome in my crib if they aren't taking care of their business. So they couldn't have a child that they're not taking care of and be welcome in my house. They couldn't, have a wife or a girlfriend and not have a job and be welcome in my house. So I'm not posturing myself with people who aren't taking care of the things that they need to take care of. And so we have to make a conscious effort to put ourselves around the things that are positive in order for everything around us to be positive. But if you subscribe to the Shade Room, if you subscribe to the Spiritual Word, which God, that's
we about to get to that. We about to get to that
of itself.
We about to get to that.
Basically everything that is extreme, is cultural negative. If that's all subscribe to World Star, then everything you see will be negative. But if you make it a point to put positive things in your realm and in your space, then the things that are happening around you will be positive. So, that's a big responsibility of ours, and choose what it is that we're gonna, take in on a daily basis.
Be careful of the company that you keep, man, because that echo chamber can screw you up.
It speaks for you.
That echo chamber
speaks for you.
Oh my goodness, man! Look, I can tell you straight up, as soon as I changed up my circle, some things in my life changed. Right now, I love all you guys still dearly. So I'm saying, anybody out here who I may not speak to this often, I love you dearly. But when I changed up my tight knit circle, things change because my tight-knit circle is a circle of accountability. So I wanted to dispel this myth, by the way, that I've heard a lot of women say that they don't hold other men accountable. That is bullshit. Okay? That is bullshit. That is a lie from the pits of hell. Men absolutely hold other men accountable. These guys hold me accountable. I hold them accountable. And we got other brothers just like us that we hold accountable too. Because it's all about us building our community. If our families are stronger, our communities are stronger, our role models are stronger, our kids are better, which means our next generation, next couple generations are going to be better. Or worse, if y'all ain't listening to what we got to say here. I know that's coming. All right. Last one, then we're going to get on to the next topic. I'm about done with this.
For you, for the house.
Fathers should be.
Even
should celebrate your Father's Day. I think that fathers deserve a whole Father's Day. I don't. Mothers deserve a Mother's Day. Y'all, they deserve to be birthdays and they deserve a Mother's Day. I 100% believe that.
And they deserve a Mother's Day. I fully 100% believe that.
Y'all hear this bullshit? Like, you see her face? Y'all see ZZ face?
We need to get like one of them on the actual show live, so we can ask. Because I have like certain questions. So like
is it crack? That's my first question. Is it crack? Is it like gas station? Yeah, like, did you sit in the garage with the engine running?
I'm gonna tell you what it's not. We know what it's not. It ain't weed.
It ain't.
Weed don't do that to you.
It ain't THC. It ain't THC.
It ain't THC at all.
That's it.
You don't think great fathers that are around the world, black men specifically?
That are around the world, black men specifically.
All right, cool. We're back to the beginning. Yeah, man, right. I'm sorry. It becomes more and more absurd every time I hear it. Men we don't deserve nothing. The fellas don't deserve nothing. That's crazy.
But it's like, and here's the good pivot point. It's when women speak on us like this that shows women don't open up.
So remember, I was saying how there's got to be reasons why certain father figures, right? There's something that's going on, whether they're working, whether there's certain traumas that they have and the kids don't understand, right? But to Kev's point, right?
If you don't have
are the men, not opening up, emotionally developed, and why then opening up? Because if they're not being emotionally open, they're not going to be there.
Yeah.
If they don't, listen, as men, we put up the guard because as the providers and the protectors, right? We're on guard all the time.
Always.
We don't feel that trust.
We don't feel safe.
How are we supposed to open up and be there?
Yeah.
I mean,
we don't have to up that.
Somebody because who was it? TD Jakes?
TD Jakes.
We just recently saw this. And it's funny you mentioned that. We just recently saw. Let me see if I can get it. We live, y'all. We live. This is what happens. We live.
But y'all with us, and we appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Hey, real quick, while we're getting this pulled up, man, everybody take a second. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, enable notifications so you know when we're going live. There's more content coming. We're gonna be doing more one-on-one shows, like little 10-minute, 15-minute show. To keep help you guys keep acclimated throughout the week. But yeah, more stuff is coming. So hit that like button, hit that share button.
And while he works on this, because Savannah's on, I want to shout out Supply Essentials.
Yes.
I'm gonna take these glasses off and show y'all this sexified face that you're looking at. Just take it in, enjoy it. I use literally after I finished my workout, got in the shower, I used the Sunflower Essentials brown sugar scrub on my face, and then followed that up with super smooth for help my sons. Like using oatmeal soap and everything. Shout out to Sunflower Essentials. Make sure you follow her on Instagram. Look at some of the products. We love Black-owned businesses. We love to support our Black women. And again, Black women are dope.
Black women are dope. Check her out, man. Experience Sunflower Essentials, man. We're actually gonna have the woman herself. Who's gonna be on next week. So y'all are not gonna want to miss that. You're gonna want to hear her story. You're gonna want to hear where Sunflower Essentials even came from, along with a bunch of other things. We might even have her on for a segment or two next week, so we can get her perspective as well. So y'all are not gonna want to miss next week. Tune in next Friday, 9:00. We're gonna have Miss Sunflower herself. She's gonna be on here. We're gonna talk a little bit about it. So y'all don't miss that one.
This ain't a one-time thing. For the record, my shirt is literally from a Black woman-owned company We're sitting around a burning candle right now from Destination, an own candle company. We're hosting a live event tonight. There's a Black woman who owns that company as well. It's smelling fantastic in here. It smells almost as good as I look. So we just here to let y'all know we support the community. We want y'all to know about what's going on, all of those kinds of things.
Hey, Reggie Reg, that's one of the reasons why this Destination Unknown. This is the reason why we ain't gonna have to worry about no air freshener, because it really does smell amazing. These candles really do smell amazing out here, man. So check them out right there. You see the link right there. Check it out. Check out the website. Look at it.
That cold started shit. I live a lot of cold, right?
We're breaking character out here, y'all.
Look, listen, tune in and make sure you tell a friend, get on, like, comment, subscribe. That's all you want to do. Shit. So the first person that got 5 people on this live. Yeah. Might be a giveaway, so make sure y'all stay tuned.
Oh shit, he giving away shit. We ain't out here. We giving away stuff out here, man. So y'all get 5 friends to hit the subscribe button. Look, we're trying to get to like 50 subscribers by the end of the month.
Hey, listen, with all the advertising we doing, somebody's gonna pull up on us.
Hey, man, look, holla at us too if you want us to shout out your stuff too. We taking a quick break right here. This is what we do.
Yeah.
Look, y'all holla at us if y'all want us to shout out some of your stuff, review it, take a look at it. Holla at us, man. We good. We'll take a look. We'll give an honest opinion about it. That's for sure. One thing you won't get from us is no fluff and no bullshit. Okay. If it ain't
Product
right, we gonna
right.
take
Ain't gonna hold you. I got a Black therapist who's watching us live, and I want to put her information out there too. So Monique, if you can hear me, I need you to send me your information, how people can get a hold of you, because Black therapists matter as well.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah.
We'll post it up.
Yeah. So again, we're shouting out any and everything that's Black owned, that's Black inspired. We got love for everybody. So it's gonna be as Black as it can possibly get.
All right, there it is, man. We are out here, man. Look, Kev, you got a trend right here. It smells almost as good as you look. Look, we some good looking Black men out here, man. So, we only require the best out here. All right. Yeah. We'll take a second and pause. I'm gonna pause and reflect on this 4 good looking Black men over there.
This is me telling you no at the same time. Again, send me your information. I'm not playing with you. Don't tell me no. Send it to me. I'm trying to send you business. People need therapists, and they looking for Black therapists. So don't argue with me. Send the information in here so we can put it on the screen.
Look, Black folk need therapy. God and therapy.
Send the information.
Send the face
Yeah, man. This might be a whole new show. God and therapy. It might be a whole new segment.
Because it matters. Listen, people go to therapy to deal with people who don't go to therapy.
Yeah. I ain't got shit to say about that one. That's it right there. Let's move on to the next thing. Shit, that was real. That's real right there. Yeah. Let's go and queue up.
Let him preach the sermon, because this right here, I'm ready to send my time.
Listen, ladies, y'all need to listen at this too. All right, because the truth of the matter is, man, this is the reason I've heard women all over the place all the time say, why don't men open up? Why aren't men in touch with their feelings? All those kinds of things, right? I hear it all the time. Well, look, somebody here has the TV Jakes.
And all this ball glory.
All this ball glory. Shout out to Dreadheads out here. We out here in the streets, baby! All right, that was it. Yeah, back home. All right, let's get to it, man.
His body trusted her. About how you are about your bodies. I want to know, are you safe to love? I want to know, can I trust you with love? I want to know if you. Am I the only man in here?
Pause on that real quick.
I'm already shaking. I'm already in the spirit.
I'm gonna pause on that real quick.
I'm already in the spirit.
Fellas, can we trust the woman with our secret? and know that she will hold that shit against us. I'm sorry, hold that stuff against. We've been drinking. I'm cussing. Hold that stuff against us the next day, fellas. Talk about it.
I can trust mine.
We can. I was gonna say, we can. So this is a married man right here.
We have two married men on the bookends right here. Married man out here.
We can trust the right one with the information. But all too often when when we're connected to the wrong ones, that information gets held against us. And I think the hardest part about like dealing with that is you don't like, because you said we're gonna hear it the next day. It's never the next day. It's when you hit that low point, that information that was supposed to be sacred, that information that was your vulnerability, your time to express yourself, your time to lay it all out there. It's when you least need it that it's held over your head. It's in the midst of argument and disagreement that is used against you, and it's selfish because you're not using that information as a means to like make me see something that I don't already see. Right. You're using that against me to make me feel worse about myself, for whatever's going on. So again, I stay away from those all statements. I don't think every woman's going to use it against us, but I think the wrong woman will use it at the worst possible time as a means to make you feel worse about yourself.
Enough will certainly. Q, what's your thought, man?
Well, my thought is this. When it comes to a relationship and falling in love, it's just going to be like bungee jumping or skydiving. You're going to take that plunge, but you're expecting your partner to be that safety net. Everything that falls in, that gets caught, you want it to be secure. If you have the tiniest thread to unravel, what's supposed to be there is your support at your lowest point of that fall, and you slip through, that means that foundation of that relationship is not there. You need to find the right one.
That's real, man. Hey, LB, sound off as a married man. What's your thought?
Man, as a married man, I can say, even though I've found mine, right, that I can trust it, and I can tell all my secrets, right, just because I'm married doesn't mean, that I have the one that, I can trust, because even married men go through it. So it's
about marrying the right one.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. Yeah. It goes back to what Kev said. It's the right one. Who can you trust with the right? It's the right one that we open up to. It's the right one. That we will feel safe enough. That we can trust. Yeah. With that information. And then women can. They should not use that against us.
Yeah.
They should not, because once they do, as a man, that just, what does that do to us?
It's demoralizing, man.
And I was like, whoa, once that happens, it changes the whole dynamic of the relationship. Yeah. And then the female is sitting there wondering, well, what happened? Well, guess what? We're already planning our exit, or we're already, because we're logical. We're thinking, oh, well, shoot, I can't trust this. I'm in a mistake.
Yep.
Here's the path I'm on.
And then exit strategy is right there, man. Exit strategy is right there. No, you're absolutely right. I can tell you, as a married man myself, one of the things that there were two things mainly that I was looking for. I was looking for peace in my house, and I needed for my wife to, I needed to know that I could trust her in the same way that she could trust me, right? That trust thing is important, and loyalty does have a limit. Loyalty does have a limit for a lot of people, and you need to know what that limit is before you put that eternal ring on that woman. But we won't go ahead and we will get off of that for right now. Let's get back to brother TD Jakes, man. I just had to pause it real quick on that, but let's get back to what he's saying, man. We got some unqualified garden tools out here that got.
If I tell you what or when you sit up there with your lips all swollen up and create a problem because you can't control your emotions. And I want to know if I'm in a fit of anger and you
Pause.
There it is.
All right,
That's
listen.
what you telling me.
I'm mad at y'all for showing me that shit. I'm so mad at y'all for that. The brothers can't be trusted. The brothers cannot be trusted. The brothers cannot be trusted, yo. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Hold on, I want to give y'all some context. This is my fault. I apologize. So
Oh
listen.
my God.
I'm gonna choke it down.
Oh,
All right,
we out here trying to have a serious ass conversation.
I wasn't expecting it. So for the record, the vast majority of our stuff comes from social media. So we solicit y'all topics. So again, if you got things that y'all think we should talk about, send them in so that we can address those things. But
email us up2itDown2it22@gmail.com. If you got something you want us to talk about.
That's us. But like a lot of the things we discovered just come from our time on social media. So trying to make sure we ain't missed nothing and came across this extra wild tweet. So I'm gonna hold it because we're in the middle of a religious segment, but understand that I'm gonna come back to this tweet at some point because y'all need to hear a joke too. So just y'all. TDJ, he was.
Can I get another shot? Because I'm not. Is that me right there? That looks like me right here. That's me right there. Okay. Oh, because I wasn't ready for that one.
All right.
Oh,
But getting back to what TDJ said.
Oh my God.
Trust.
Oh my
Right?
God.
He said it. He said what we were saying. Right? It's the trust factor. The trust factor is like it's at the top for us.
Yeah.
Like I was saying before, we put up those barriers, and if you break that trust, that's giving us more reasons to put up even more barriers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's like, okay, you know what? Boom, exit strategy. Let's go.
Y'all see the headline there? This men don't up to women. Okay. I mean, y'all, it ain't all of you.
To shut up. Every time you betray my trust, there's another layer of silence. And when I
Pause that right there. Pause that. Pause that. He said, "You teach me to shut up. You teach me not to open up. You teach by the things that you are sharing, by the trust you are that you're breaking." Wow,
that's huge. I know a lot of women struggle with like the trust factor with men and stuff like that. But you understand, the trust factor with men honestly has to do with our lack of trust in some women. We're not about to sit here and act like women are the only ones who have been traumatized by relationships.
It's the two-way street.
All right. Hey, I'm losing them. Y'all see our viewership drop as soon as I say that? Y'all see that shit? Some people love right off.
scream, I die screaming not to talk to you when you use my talk against me. Not to talk to you.
I imagine that's all the men in the church clapping. I'd imagine that's all the men in the church that are clapping that are like, say amen somebody. All the women probably sitting there like,
But wait, while that's paused, do y'all notice the woman that's sitting there with her hand over her mouth? While this is being said,
right here.
She's saying, she not even supposed to be cussing in church, but
We have no emotions. Emotions.
that face tight too.
Emotions. You say we have emotions.
her face is mad tight up here. Look at that.
it's on the wall. Hey, we said we was gonna do some reaction videos.
We catching everything out here. The message in the background and stuff. All right. Yeah, make sure you smile. I mean, he talking about me. Remember that look that black folk give whenever somebody say I'm gonna slap the shit out of everybody in here? You know what I'm talking about? That's the look she giving me. Shit, he ain't talking about me out here. He ain't talking about me.
You haven't got it. screams you haven't heard. That's never been written. We've got love shut up in our hearts and in our minds and in our guts, our bowels, our loins that never reaches you. In our hearts and in our minds and in our guts, our bowels, our loins that never reaches you. Because you cannot the language we speak. Talking about his body hurt.
Oh, I'm trying to tell you something, man. That man is out here preaching better than y'all saying amen right now. All right?
You have to be open to receive a man's vulnerability. And I'm not gonna say that that's easy, because culture has conditioned us. And I mean it literally started with us. Boys don't cry. Stop crying, or I give you something to cry about. That's soft. Don't show your emotions. Don't do this. Don't do those kinds of things that have been conditioned in us. And so, we see it from a young age that we're just not or shouldn't express ourselves, in that way because it's girly, because it's soft, because it's feminine, so we gotta be tough, man up. It's the wildest thing to tell a child to man up. And so again, when you know better, you do better. So I don't approach my son the same way. You're fine to express yourself, but then talk about what's wrong after the fact. So let's not stay in this place, but you gotta get that out. And so I think because a lot of people who are our age or around our age have grown up in that in that environment where you don't want a boy cries because he's a punk. They gotta be tough. They gotta that kind of thing. So we've got to unlearn a lot of behaviors. But in the same way that men have to unlearn it's soft to cry, women have to unlearn men are soft if they cry. Men are soft if they are vulnerable, if they express themselves, if they show that they're impressed over you. That it's it's a lot of things that we've got to unlearn in order to move forward with each other in a better space.
See, the truth, that's a good point. The truth is that men are actually, I don't want to say emotional. We're not ruled by our emotion, but men have emotion. We have feelings. We feel shit. When y'all say stuff, when y'all say stuff to us, we feel that shit. Now we might not react, which is different from how women tend to act, right? We may not react, but we feel it just the same. Just because we don't, hell no, whatever it is. If we don't do all that, doesn't mean we ain't feel it. I mean, we might just, okay, all right, suck it up. But inside, we're like, fuck, is that for real? Did she really think that? Did she really think that about me? Damn, you know what I'm saying? I'm just,
no, savvy talk.
Y'all are emotional.
Hey, you know we are though. I won't argue with that. We are emotional. Like I said, we are not ruled by our emotions. Hey, listen.
And I gotta see you.
I'm gonna see you when you show up. Now, but seriously though, we are emotional for real. If we're being totally honest here, we're very emotional. We're not ruled by our emotions. We're not controlled by our emotions. We don't always react based on our emotions. However, men are very emotional. We're emotionally fragile. We have egos. Egos are easily bruised. Women's job is to protect our ego, and our job is to protect our emotion. But yeah,
I was getting ready to say, I think it's that we can compartmentalize it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We can. So when they see our emotion, it's because you're seeing just that
the raw emotion
entity of that raw emotion.
Word. Yeah.
Whereas with females, you'll see a lot of intertwinedness. But I think it's we can compartmentalize it. It's we're not ruled by it. We can say we can put it to the side. We can put something to the side for a minute to handle something, logically.
Yeah.
And fix the issue.
Yep.
Yep. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, man, like that's a big deal, man. And you know, the thing about it is, ladies, if you protect your man's ego, you don't make him feel belittled, you don't make him feel bad. You'll be surprised the depths that he will go to for you. And it's, of course, it's the same thing for men too, because again, we're talking to the fellas here. So, so fellas, we gotta protect our ladies' emotions too. We have to make them feel good. We have to make them feel appreciated. We have to make them feel loved and respected, and all of those things too. But ladies, it's a two-way street. Y'all gotta do the same thing for us. It can't be a one-way thing where it's just we making you feel good and y'all just y'all just there like that lady in the last video. It can't be like that. It can't be like that, right? It's a two-way street.
Because again, God in therapy. And speaking of therapy, so I do have the information now. All right, so you can, if you're looking for a therapist, particularly, you know, Black therapist, Monique Rodriguez, LGPC, she's certified, okay? Located with the Branches of Life Therapy, LLC, teletherapy only, which, listen, shout out to teletherapy. I see both of my therapists, group therapy and individual therapy. I see them via like, you know, teletherapy through the Kaiser app. So Branches of Life Therapy LLC. You can email branchesoftherapy.com. And she also has a profile on Psychology Today if you search for the name Monique Rodriguez. Don't judge me if I get this wrong, but metanoia, counseling.mz@gmail.com.
What? Say it again. Give it to me again.
Metanoia, like know your clap. No, but METANOIA.
NOIA?
Yeah, NOIA.
Okay.
Counseling. COUNSELING. CEL.
Yeah.
CE. Wait.
Did I do that wrong?
COUNSELING. .MZ.
SEL, not
SEL. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We gonna work it out because we want y'all to have this
Work it out.
information.
No.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, I know what it's for. I was on your Instagram.
Hold on. METANOIACOUNC. SEL.
That's what she said.
All right. SEL.
ING. .MZ.
.MZ.
Yeah. @gmail.com.
Y'all see the depths that we're going to here for y'all?
Because we want y'all to find this stuff. Listen.
You said at Gmail.
Yes, at Gmail. Get you some guidance, okay? So you can search for her there and find it. We want y'all to RODRIGUEZ. Did we jack that up? Monique Rodriguez.
Monique Rodriguez.
We
gonna
make sure I got this.
It's gonna be up there. It's gonna be up there.
Again, find you a therapist, but it's also dope if you can find you a therapist that's in your culture.
Can you get that website one more time, bro?
Yep. Branchesoflifetherapy.com.
Branchesoftherapy.com.
Yes.
All right, so y'all, look, that's what it is, man. Like, we are trying to help everybody out
In every way that we can.
in every way that we can.
And I'm like, listen, because again, in the Black community, therapy, it's taboo. It's like, oh, you don't need therapy, just go to church. And that ain't it. So, and I was one of the ones that was right in that stigma. Like, I was like, nah, I'll be okay. I'll go to church and pray about it. I'll, talk to my pastor about it. And that part is fine. It's not enough though. It's not enough. So we gotta go to therapy. We gotta work these issues out.
Is this a seriously, is this a godly therapist? Is this
She's definitely she does individuals and couples, by the way. But she is extremely godly. I trust her foresight, her discernment, all those kinds of things. She's an amazing person. So she can do therapy, like religion aside, but she'll definitely be religion for you if you need that. And I'm not waiting for you to answer me on that. I'm gonna speak for you. So she can meet you at your point of need.
Meet you where you are.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's how it's working.
I want to go to this comment real
Homicide,
quick. Can we look at this?
Yeah,
real
let's take
fast?
a
Look at it. Let's look
All
at
right,
it.
well, let's look at this comment. Once you find the right woman, she'll make you feel the love and comfort to be open with her. It's going to come naturally, the freedom to come to her and pour your heart to. Get a woman that will let you lay your head on my pillow. Hey, lay your head on her chest. Pause.
Listen, all right, we're going. Here we go. Hey.
Okay, all right, my bad.
Yeah.
We're immature and we've been drinking. Kick
We're
rock.
going there.
All right. Lay your hand on her chest and rub through your hair. All right, well, y'all can't see the rest of that.
It says
Hold on.
what is going
While you open your mind, let it rub through your hair while you open your mind. Yeah, so what this means, y'all. The therapist is telling y'all to grow y'all some luxurious
That's what it
locks
says.
like this here. All right, Shorty can't rub her hands through your hair. Yes, ain't got no hair. Okay.
She just gonna massage your scalp.
Massage the scalp, man.
Women need the same treatment also.
Yeah. Women need the same treatment also. A lot nowadays are just missing love and it's hurt from previous baggage, not only from ex-lovers, but from friends and family. That's deep. That's real right there. I say it all the time. It be your own people. It be your own people, yo. It be your friends. It be your family. It be the people that you are more closely connected to. They be the ones, man. They be the ones. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that segment right there. What happened with stuff like that?
And one more thing before we pivot. So I just want to make sure I get her clear. So she is a Christian who happens to be a therapist. But yes, she does incorporate everything as appropriate for clients. So, if you are a Christian seeking therapy, she will, address it from a Christian perspective. But if you ain't that, then she can meet you at your point of need. So
there you go, fellas.
Find you a good therapist.
Get you a good therapist, man. Get you a good therapist. Somebody's really gonna be able to talk to you.
Especially, I would say even before marriage.
Oh yeah,
relationship counseling is.
Relationship counseling even before marriage. Get you a good therapist or a good marriage counselor. I think I said it before in like one of our first episodes. Like me and my wife, we went to marriage counseling.
Yeah. Like
the month right after we made it official.
Yeah.
We're into it because we said, listen, this is what we want. I bet. Marriage counseling class. Let's go. It was offered at the church. We said, boom. Jump on it, because we had a goal in mind. We were on the same page. Get it out the way. Why wait? Why drag it out? You know what I'm saying? So you just counsel.
And I like that you got it.
If marriage is the goal.
Well, then there's that. So
I got a question. I want to pose
two aspects. Two aspects.
Q, you got a question? Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So we all understand a healthy relationship to grow and thrive. It has to be equally balanced, equally yoked.
Yeah.
You feel like the reason men aren't as open to express their emotions is partly because of this whole men ain't shit mentality that gets perpetuated?
Well, what I say to that is, I'll be 39 at the end of this year, right?
You look great.
I appreciate it. I don't look
not a day over time.
Not at all. Boy, we out here, man. Look, 80s babies, we out here just with the sexiness out here.
80s babies, we out here.
We out here almost 40, looking like we almost 30. You understand?
Tell y'all. We had to tell y'all.
I don't know 40 though.
I ain't know.
Just for the record, I'm right in the middle. So
Okay. All right.
He's right in the middle.
These people in the middle right here.
He about to turn 36.
These guys in the middle. Hey, these guys in the middle.
These guys
in the middle.
Literally in the middle. They're in their mid-30s here, right? All right, me and this guy, we married.
We all call it, but their favorite number there, 4.
That 4-0, put that 4-0 on it. All right, so look, what I forgot the fuck I was about to say. That just totally
We live. We live. All right.
Oh man, but real talk though, man. Like, listen, you fellas, who you choose as your mate is very important. Who you choose as your helpmeet is very important. That's what I was gonna say. I love that you guys went to therapy at your church. Because, and I know some of y'all are gonna be mad at this, and I don't care, but it's the truth. The reality is that marriage is not a government institution. It is a God-ordained institution, right? It is like marriage is a God-ordained thing, right? So, you know, it is not a government thing. It is not a government construct. It is something that God has ordained for human beings to do. One of the first commandments that men and women were given, that men specifically were given, was to leave and cleave. Right? Leave the home and cleave unto your wife. Like that was one of the first commandments given. So again, marriage is something that God ordained. So if you're gonna go to therapy, in my honest opinion, you need to go to therapy to somebody like, what's her name?
Monique
Rodriguez. Monique Rodriguez, who is a Christian, who will be able to give you biblical basis and biblical foundation for building on your marriage. Okay, and that is very, very important. I don't care if some of y'all mad about it. It's just what it is.
Shout out to Mo's mom too, she dope. So like as y'all address your relationship, take a look at the family dynamic too, because the relationship that your partner has with their parents and their family members and their friends, like the way that they treat the people around them speaks volumes to who they are as a person.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All of these things are important to pay attention to.
Yeah. All right, we off that.
Yeah.
Unless y'all got something else. So we got our shots pulled up for this next topic.
Yeah, because everything's ignorant. The world is ghetto.
Yo, the world is ghetto. Oh, it's ghetto. Last week for those of y'all who watched this last week, we touched briefly on the Uvalde, Texas shooting at the school. More stuff has happened since then. There was a shooting at I don't know if y'all heard about this. There was a shooting in Tulsa, Oklahoma, at a hospital. Did y'all hear about that?
Yes.
The Tulsa shooting.
I haven't even gotten there. I'm sitting on a text from the Uvalde shooting. Seeing them reporting that Eva Morales was one of the teachers who got murdered, was on the phone with her husband, who was a member of the police and school, and the school resource officer. She informed him that she was dying. He had to be restrained by multiple officers as he struggled to reach her. So like there's, and that's again, like the internet is such a great tool because we have access to so much, camera phones and all of that, but there's so many details that are coming out after the fact that are just changing the narrative of what took place. It's so alarming and so disheartening, and at the same time, as you try to unpack what's true and what's not, so many perspectives to it. Like it's a tragedy all around, and I never feel like we'll get the full scope of what the truth of this situation was because there's so much that's going into it. But
well, the irony of it is that since last week there have been 2 mass shootings, right? And that, of course, is going to bring into I hit the button too goddamn fast. But anyway,
here we are.
But here we are. Listen, guns don't kill people. Guns don't kill people. We don't think. So, as I was saying, we've had in the last couple of weeks, we had mass shooting after mass shooting. Have y'all noticed? Maybe I'm tripping. Y'all noticed it's an election year. Y'all noticed there weren't nearly as many mass shootings last year?
Definitely noticed.
Have you noticed?
Or what I'll say, I don't
have any reports.
I was just saying, so I don't say.
Because again, and that's the hard part, because media is controlled by $1. It also affects what goes into the media. So whatever they deem is important at the time will be what it is that's reported. So I don't know that there weren't as many mass shootings. I don't know that there weren't as many shootings. I don't know that there wasn't as much.
This is where I would have to ask the question, right? Because there's suddenly some in the middle of the election season, where we are now politicizing the use of handguns, the use of ARs, and so on and so forth. I think my question is, how are we didn't have nearly as many last year, but we tend to have some every 2 to 4 years. And every 2 to 4 years, we tend to have a little bit of a political discussion, and that discussion usually is around the removal or the banning of arms or banning of guns, which is, frankly speaking, a violation of our Second Amendment right. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate right here. For all of you who support the removing and banning of guns, you and I will be adversaries this evening. All right, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, and we already said we got one here that's for the removal of guns. So let's talk about it.
So real quick though, also, you know, since we're talking about things politically, right? You know, we can also throw in there, right? We gotta look, you know, deeper into these bills and laws that are being put up and taken down by one party, and then the next party comes in and takes away what was put in place. Right? Because I also read, you know, factual from, you know, WhiteHouse.gov, right?
But I don't make it facts, but
it doesn't make it facts. It doesn't make it facts. But I'm just saying, reported from. Here's the place. Here's what
we live.
We live, baby.
This is what happened.
So look, right? So there was something put in place where people with mental health issues, it made it hard. It was something put in place for people with mental health could not buy guns, and then another administration comes in, right? And whether it was a part of a certain bill or not, right? That gets stripped away because of the next administration. And so we're getting into this whole political realm. It's like, why aren't we just doing what's right for the people instead of just this party versus that party? No. Forget the part. Let's do what's right for the people in general.
But
why did that get taken?
It ain't so much about people though; it's about power. That's the
taken
thing.
out,
And that's, you know, so.
But that same bill that was put in place for people with mental health not being able to purchase guns is now stricken away, and now those same people can purchase those guns.
And that, but what you said is like my issue, that the vast majority of people, politicians who support gun laws that are not strict are backed by the NRA. And so when you challenge, like if you look into the funding that goes into like politicians, you'll see the NRA funds people who will support not taking guns away. And I'm not for like I'm
the National Rifle Association.
But that's what I'm saying. So I'm not against taking a handgun away from people. I think a handgun is a practical way to have protection in your home and defend yourself.
So you are against it, or you're not against it?
I'm against assault rifles. I'm against automatic weapons. I'm against semi-automatic weapons because I think that's overkill. I can have a handgun in my home and feel comfortable with a handgun. I don't think people need to be toting AR-15s. I don't think people need to be toting rifles and you know what I'm saying, like
so
machine
in other
guns.
words, you don't
like,
think 16 people are going to be running up in your house that you need
right? You know what I'm
AR-15.
saying, like that. Like I think that's extreme. You know, it's like the like burglary tends to be 1 to 3 people. Like, you know,
Depending on where you are.
But I'm saying the overwhelming majority, like crime is more often than not a 1-to-1 and 2, but it's not a cavalry to 1. Like I think heavy artillery is necessary for war, but it should not be so easily accessible for the common person.
But why?
Why? Because it leads to what we see. Even if if it's not, you know what I'm saying, a person who is planning to go into a school and shoot it up. If I'm using an assault rifle chances are a bullet's gonna go straight, and then that stray bullet is hitting.
If you're untrained,
But no, but I'm saying trained people get wild too. If you're because again, when we see these issues, then the first thing that comes out of their mouth, especially if they're not black, is what were their mental issues. When it's a black person, the first thing they'll go to is what trouble did they have in their past. But if it's a white person, they'll say, oh well, they weren't loved as a child. They weren't ill. They weren't coddled.
I mean, I don't know how true that is, because like I've definitely seen we see some mass shooters that were black, and the same narrative was there for them too.
But I don't. But I haven't seen it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like when the DC sniper happened, they didn't look to see who didn't love him. He was just the black man who shot up stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so like. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's because who controls the media.
They looked at the mental health, and they looked at the manifesto of like the black guy that shot up the New York City subway. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm saying it's not that it never happens, but like we've seen it. That they're quicker to look at everything that went wrong in the life of a white person versus everything that could have gone wrong in the life of a black person. Like. Again, I'll keep saying, whoever controls the media controls the narrative. So if it's a white dominated media, you're going to get a white sob story. And we just like, it doesn't seem like it's presented that way for black people. Even
I still feel like though, like I feel like it's a mental, either way, it's a mental health issue. I don't believe it's a gun issue. You know, I don't believe it's an AR issue or even a handgun. Frankly speaking, more people get killed by handguns than by ARs. If we're being honest, statistically, more people get killed by handguns in America.
And I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that when you put an assault rifle in the hands of somebody, they can do more damage more quickly than a handgun can, because a handgun has a limited amount of bullets. And even that.
I mean, a handgun could be semi-automatic too, though.
And that's why I'm saying I'm not a fan of semi-automatic or automatic weapons. I literally think a handgun should be it, not semi-automatic, not automatic, just a handgun that you gotta pull a trigger every time you want a bullet to come out.
What I'm saying is, if somebody break in my house, I want to put as many bullets in them as possible. Okay, so if that means that I take an AR and I load a whole magazine on that son of a bitch for coming in my house and threatening the life of my wife and my kids, then so be it. Yeah, I need to make sure as many bullets as possible go through that son of a bitch's head. You know what I'm saying? So I don't maybe toting the pistol or toting the AR while you're walking up and down the street, maybe, okay.
But there are open carry states which say that's okay.
But again, I'm good with open carry. Personally, I'm good with open carry. Like, I know you got what you got. That's what it is. Hey,
are they good with 100, 1,000 black men rolling down the street carrying?
Because when we did that, black, black militia, when we did that, we were problematic.
I mean, okay, but if we're gonna be black militia, militia might be problematic. But I think
that's why when they literally were just arming themselves to protect us. They weren't attacking people; they were armed to protect us. But we were seen as problematic because we were black with guns.
Being seen as it is irrelevant. I think
it's not irrelevant because that's when we get attacked. When we're seen as a threat, that's when we get attacked.
So again, if you're gonna get attacked, I'd rather be attacked while I have an AR on my shoulder than be attacked while I have nothing on my shoulder.
But they're not just gonna attack you; they're gonna attack everything around you. You know what I'm saying? So it's not.
Who is they though?
They are the ones who did the bombing of Black Wall Street. They are the ones who.
That was 100 years ago.
It's not. But it didn't stop. It doesn't stop there though. If you look at, I forget what the park in New York is, but the park it's a park in New York that literally it exists now because of what they did to black people to move them out of the way. So it didn't just stop at the Black Wall Street bombing. Like, we've been victims of this. Like, every time black people start to rise to a level, there is something of a massacre that takes place to take something like,
Black Wall Street was in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
but it's
Right?
but
Oh, no, hold on, hear me out. Black Wall Street was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, yes? Right?
yes,
Okay. Is that all of America?
I think
I'm saying seriously though, like,
yes. And if you're asking me, yes, because America was founded on racist principles. America, like,
Is it
we
all of
should-
America, or is it all of America that got caught, or they got televised, or they got
that's kind of where I'm going with that. Like that was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 100 years ago.
I think you're oversimplifying this. Like to say that because one thing happened 100 years ago, that there's not like a ton of things that have happened since then to like undermine Black advancement is like the reason we have the NAACP is because like there's not advancement. Like there had been like clear things that don't exist for the advancement of Black people. Like the reason we're still arguing about like sports and politics and like equal pay and all of these things because there are things in place that like have held Black people back in some shape, form, or fashion.
I don't think guns in any way have anything to do with any of
I
that. I really
no,
don't.
but so
I really
like
don't.
so if it's not a gun, it's a noose. If it's not a noose, it's a hiring process. If it's not a
Noose and hiring.
they're still hanging Black people now. Black people are still being hung now.
I think
Where?
There's
Where?
I
Find
hear
it.
both of y'all.
Find it.
I hear both of y'all what y'all trying to say, right? Because to Trey's point, it is not the gun per se, right? It's not the gun itself, because what he's trying to say is mental health of the people that go.
but we're still not making it difficult enough for them to get a hold of these things. Which that's
But
the
if you have a mentally, challenged person or a mental health person, right, that has something going on, yes, they should not be able to get a gun. But if you have somebody that is sound of mind and they just they're choosing to be a racist, what's to stop them from getting a gun? They choose
Nothing.
to be it.
Nothing, because you can get guns legally or illegally. Nothing is.
They're choosing. We see it on certain social media platforms now. When somebody asks you a question, do you agree with slavery? Oh, I choose not to answer that question.
since
But
2000.
they're saying people.
Since 2000, there have been at least 8 lynchings of Black men and teenagers in Mississippi. Like just that one state.
And that's only the ones recorded.
And that's again recorded. But like, and we've seen on college campuses, they're still hanging nooses. What's the point? What's the point of hanging a noose? Tell me. If you see a noose hanging, what would be the point?
Well, again, we know what the point is.
So I'm saying we know. So these things still exist there because somebody's grandfather, somebody's great grandfather grew up in segregation and racism, and they passed that trait down and down and down.
There's all the more reason, personally, why I believe that it would be okay to be strapped up for that exact reason.
But all right, so answer this question, all bias aside.
Yeah.
If every Black person gets registered for a gun, what do you think is going to happen?
Kind of damn thing.
I think you're full of shit. I think that would be the way. That would be. That,
Wait, because to Trey's point though, like wouldn't you think that by now, because the majority of Black people, right, from what I've seen, right, we are more forgiving. We are more like, yo, let's get to the next. Let's
so we're not getting guns.
So we're not on a revenge war path.
So my question is, if we were and went and all of us got registered for guns, what do you think would happen?
That's a revenge warpath versus.
But I'm saying because they don't
being illegally registered for a gun.
No, but I'm saying if they looked at the statistics and saw that 95% of African Americans in America were registered for guns, what do you think would happen?
There's nothing they can do about it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Y'all are wild. Y'all are wild.
Absolutely
nothing. What do you think would happen?
I think that then there would be a discussion about gun laws and what you could get a hold of.
That's already.
No. It's not.
Don't get registered.
It's the school got. This is how the narrative goes. A school got shot up. Oh my God, we should do something. The NRA says, don't take our guns. Here's some money, and we do nothing. But I truly believe. Say it's not, because again, how many school shootings have to happen before something happens? No, like,
so then everybody needs to go get registered for a gun.
But I'm saying that is the solution. But what do you think would happen after that?
Nothing.
I think y'all are like blissfully ignorant.
Go ahead.
As much as y'all can say, all right, carrying a handgun or having these ARs, there's going to be something good. Let's look at the situation right now. From the shooting in Texas to everything going on now. Like, I just saw something about Ohio thinking about passing a bill to allow teachers to start carrying guns in the schools.
He's strapped up, yeah.
Think about what that's going to look like, because history is always going to repeat itself in some form or fashion. And that is a proven fact. Think about black men having arms, walking strapped up. Outside world, we just more target and more reason to be blamed for stuff going on right now.
How? What do you mean? Based on what?
You're ignoring.
You have to think
about again. Every time a shooting of a black person happens, we hear that same story from police. I was in fear for my life. Black people.
But that is a narrative. That's not true.
We've seen interviews, we've seen transcripts that, and again, they get coached up. They get coached up through these things. And we read that police's job is not to protect and serve; it's to preserve themselves, enforce themselves. So if
I'm a cop, I'm getting my ass.
So if they see a ton of black people carrying, they're going to feel threatened.
Why?
Because we're seeing
law-abiding citizens have no reason to protect.
Nah, man, you're wild. Like white people cross the street just because we're walking. It's inherent in them.
Not all.
And again, not all. But again, I'm talking
small minority.
No, it's not a small. And again, I'm experience. When I moved to the Eastern Shore, my first week of teaching, when they said this is orientation, people are going to come in and see who the new teachers are. I literally had parents walk to the door, see me, make eye contact with me, turn and walk away. Why? Because I'm a black man. Before they knew who I was in the county, every Friday that I left my school, I got pulled over by a police officer. To the point where eventually, once they knew who I was, when I got stopped and the officer got to the window, oh, hey, Mr. Lewis, I didn't know it was you. It still exists.
It doesn't exist. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist.
So what do we do with that? What do we do with that fear? We act because fear is irrational.
Right.
So what do you think white people are doing with that fear? Acting on it because it's irrational.
This implies that all white people are irrational.
I'm not saying all, but there's enough. There's enough of them.
Majority of white people.
There's enough of them.
I don't know. See, here's the thing where you have a portion now that are now like we're all trying to live in this America together, and then there's another portion that's dying off. Right, there is a portion that they need to get. Come on, we the bucket already.
And they're still teaching.
Right, they are still teaching. But here's the thing: I'm gonna ask this question.
Teaching
right?
Because evil.
I'm gonna ask this question. You're walking down North Ave. You right now. You as who you are. You're walking down North Ave, right? How are you? You're not going to walk across the street. Like, how are you conducting yourself? Walking down North Ave
as a normal person. If you're asking me, I walk.
You're not keeping your eyes on the swivel.
But I do that anywhere. I literally do that. I keep my eyes on the swivel in the classroom because we just have to.
But that's the culture that we grew up in. We keep our eyes on the swivel. So we already know that type of culture to keep our eyes on the swivel. versus when you're talking about somebody else that doesn't know that culture, that still wasn't born into that culture to keep their eyes on the swivel or anything. They're going to want to walk across the street or not even go down North Avenue. And so that is still the thing that we're fighting against. We're still fighting against that. They don't know that. Even me, when I go walk down, when I'm driving down North Avenue, my eyes are on the swivel. I'm not afraid of these jokers. You know, I'm not afraid to go up and talk. I'm not going to cross the street or anything like that, right? But I'm still not putting anything past them.
I'm not putting anything past anybody when I go across the Bay Bridge. I'm not putting anything past anybody in Ocean City. I'm not putting anything past
But we
anybody.
don't have that same. We don't have that same maybe supposed fear that somebody else would have. That it is not from the culture that we are from. Right, and so that's what we're still fighting that.
But I do though, because I was spit on in Frostburg. You know what I'm saying? So like I have that fear because I wonder, like, why can't I go into a mountainous area without being pulled over? Why can't I drive a certain car without being looked at weird? Why is my insurance rate higher because I'm in a red vehicle?
Well,
because
people are white people in general, in general are conditioned to think that black men especially, are inherently evil. You know what I'm saying?
And why is that, right? Why is that?
Before. Well, I mean, the media is part of that.
Because they are not right. They're not a part of it. They didn't grow up in that same culture. They didn't grow up in that same culture. They're not used to growing up and living like, oh shoot, I gotta keep my eyes on the swivel. No, they grew up where they can leave their doors unlocked. They grew up where they know who their great granddaddy, they can leave their doors unlocked and feel safe. So what I'm saying is that's where that fear comes from, right? My mom was always saying, you better lock that door, you better not leave my door open. We couldn't even leave the door open. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's different cultures that we're still growing as a country. We still got a lot to grow. And so it's apples and oranges still right now. It's apples and oranges still where it's going to be that way for a period of time. But I believe that those people that are teaching those ways, trying to teach those things, right, are dying off. So hopefully we're gonna get to that point, but we're still a ways off.
I think we're definitely still a long way to go because again, evil people,
in general,
people exist, right? Bad people exist. I'm gonna get to that. I see that comment there. I'm gonna get to that. But bad people exist in the world, right?
Right there.
That's just a fact. Like bad people exist. So there's always going to be a variable. To your point, Kev, like to your point, there's always going to be a variable because there's always going to be extremists that are always going to be the exception to the rule. What I'm saying is this. If we talk about, again, law-abiding citizens who are legally carrying, right? If you got pulled over in the Eastern Shore and you disclose that you got a firearm legally, here's the license, whatever it is, you know, like I'm doing, yes, officer, I do have an AR-15 in my back seat, and the bullets are right here, and here's my license. I'm legally possessing this weapon. Again, the answer to your question is what happens? Nothing.
That's Kevin's point. Hey, Kevin's point.
Okay.
To Kevin's point, I think that's what he's trying to say, is that, you know, even though you're a law-abiding citizen, that whole verbiage, right, in the law that says, as a police officer, I feel feared for my life, gives me the legal space,
to
right?
pull you out of your car,
to do all those things, to even take your life, and that's what he's trying to say.
It's an irrational fear.
I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying is that number one, in the same instance, that's not all cops.
Which I agree with you.
That's not all white people. What I'm saying is you have the challenge that we tend to have is that we have black people carrying guns illegally. That's the challenge that we've been having. We have people that have weapons on them, and they're illegally obtained weapons.
They're white too, though.
Huh?
They're white too.
No, you're absolutely right. And illegally obtained weapons are still a problem, no matter what, whether you're black or white. That's the problem. So we have people that are illegally obtaining weapons. To your question earlier, what would happen if all of us were to get strapped up legally? If all of us were to go get registered and get guns legally, what would happen? I still honestly believe the answer would be absolutely nothing.
Well, I think there would be a change.
Huh?
I think there would be changes in the way that either NRA or that certain
like access to the types of guns,
and
or
that's my
like
opinion.
more you would have.
And
to
that's why I say,
you would
and
you
that's
would
why
have
I
to
say
like
the
something.
solution is let's all get registered.
I'm with that.
And
that's what I mean. I'm with that. I'm with that. What you mean? Y'all, I'm with that. Let's get it. All of y'all out there, go get strapped up, go get registered, go get strapped up. All right. Those in states where it's okay, of course. I think Maryland is one of those guns.
But
the bullets got
with that, you gotta pick your poison. So if you register to have a gun, you can't purchase like medicinal.
You can't get weed.
Right? Yeah, you can't
have a gun license and weed.
Yeah, so
this is again why it's good to get married to a good woman.
You know, I'm just saying. So like, you gotta make some choices. I just know.
Why is that? Why is it that oh, I know.
You know why,
right?
Why again, and I would agree with you on that. We do know the reason why you can't do one and the other. We do know what the reason is for that. I'm with you. I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying is that if you have a legally obtained firearm, you are well trained, you're a law-abiding citizen. The vast majority are not going to go commit crimes because they're law-abiding citizens. Of course, you have the extreme 10% on the left, you got the extreme 10% on the right. Absolutely, there's going to be that. But the majority that are right in the middle, the 80% law-abiding. Like if you had a gun right now, the likelihood of you going and shooting up random people is very low. I'd be totally fine with you having a gun. I personally would be totally fine with you having an AR-15. And you might not want one.
I'd be totally fine with you being the president of these here United States.
That's what I'm saying. Hey man, real talk though. Hey, vote for Kev, yo. Kev in 2028. All right, immovable force 2028. All right, we on the ballot with him. We chief of staff and shit.
I accept the nomination.
but we're talking like, and even like when we were talking about the teachers running low, we got to be out of here. But just when we were talking about the teachers being strapped up, right? You and a few other, of course, y'all know we got a network of teachers that we know within the frat and so on, right? You and a few other teachers that I know, I would have zero problem with you guys strapping up because you are law-abiding citizens. You are people who are not going to get mad at your student and be like, you know what, and shoot them in the pinky toe. Y'all ain't them type of people.
And so this is what I say. We're not those kind of people. But, and again, I think a certain level of that then warrants your preparation for it, because I'm not as me by myself. I'm not the type to just be like, oh, I'm gonna bust a cap in whoever because you didn't complete my assignment. But literally every day I worry about, without carrying a gun, I worry about students who are walking around with book bags who they have weapons in their book bags every day. They get into fights.
That's a whole other problem.
They get into fights every day.
Yeah.
They bring the drugs to school every day. Our school grounds are open. There's not a gate to our school. So we have people who walk up, like people walk their dogs on our property. And I have to tell them, you can't be on school grounds as trespassing, and then they'll go.
Well, I mean, need security for that.
Yeah, but that's a money problem. Schools aren't funded well, so we don't have the security to keep people off the property and keep the kids inside doing what they're supposed to do. So there's already a fear every day when I show up to school. well, is somebody going to get into a fight outside my room? I had 2 students walk into my room one day to try to fight one of my kids. And my first thought was, I got to get to them before they get to my student, because I know my student and my priority is to keep him safe. So I literally jumped from my desk and met the 2 of them halfway there, but like that. And I didn't think twice about it, because my job was to protect my student in my room. And so like,
that's why I wouldn't have a problem with you having a gun.
But I'm saying, so then you weaponize, and there's a greater level of like, it's a great height. It's heightened.
But you saw that, if you saw that and you had a piece in your drawer, you weren't gonna say, "Oh shit, I need to pop that kid in his head." That wouldn't be your first.
I guess what he's saying is,
so one, I keep a knife in my drawer, so I did go for that because
just in case.
But I'm saying but I'm saying a knife is different than a semi-automatic weapon. An automatic weapon, because I still bringing a knife to a gunfight don't stand a chance.
So would you have a 9mm there, like a 9mm?
I'm saying I would be more comfortable with that.
Fair,
and that's what I said. Like, I'm cool with that, but semi-automatic, because even if I had to resort to a 9, like if I shoot a shot, that's one shot, and I still got to pull again to get another shot off. If there's so much going on that my semi lets off, and now you got casualties. Yeah. So it's so much with that.
It's
assuming of course you're some amateur with an AR.
Yeah,
but assuming you're not trained. But then
we go into what's the standard in order to be able to deter, right? Right.
Well, I think that part goes up. That's between the states and stuff like that. And we can argue all day about that. But I don't think we'd really be an argument on that. I think if the states had, reasonable, different states of course, had reasonable psychological evaluation, like to your point, they had reasonable safety and training stuff, like to your point, and the person, again, no illegal background and so on and so forth. Like, it's legally obtained, law-abiding citizens and so on and so forth. I think that there will be less. I think that there'd be less of that. Honestly,
are substitutes allowed to carry?
I don't see why not. Why wouldn't they?
Because it's for the same reason that substitutes can't do a lot of things when they come in through ability.
Okay, so that's fair. If a substitute
teacher on the same page.
All right. Let's get to that comment real quick. That's a valid point here. So I knew somebody was gonna bring up Castile. Orlando Castile was shot in the car with his girlfriend and daughter. In the car after he nicely told the officer that he was at a registered gun, and that he was going to reach for registration. I do remember that. I absolutely remember that. Right? There was a couple different things that went on with that for sure. I wasn't in agreement with that. I mean, I think again there are people that make mistakes, but again, this is one situation here where that was the case where he actually said, "I have a gun. Here it is."
One reported situation.
Well, yes. One reported situation.
Yeah,
okay,
cool.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, one
globalized.
One situation that everybody talks about.
Yeah. Because again, these things are happening, and if the name is not sexy, if the city's not sexy, if the situation is not sexy,
if it can't be politicized.
Yeah, if it can't be politicized, it's not publicized.
This is the part I disagree with. If you're black, it doesn't matter. I disagree with that. I'm sorry. I disagree. I feel you. But I understand where you're coming from with that, but I completely disagree with that, because there are so many other stories that weren't heavily publicized of black men specifically who did have open carry, where no issue like that happened, who had concealed carry, where no issue like that happened. The problem is, though, we have a lot of different narratives that get pushed out. For example, Mike Brown with the hands up, don't shoot. He never had his hands up. He never said don't shoot. He never gave in to the police. That never happened. Right? There was another shooting recently. There was a young lady that was shot, and she was in the middle of it. I don't remember exactly where it was, but she was shot by police. She survived. But the eyewitness said that she had her hands up and she was saying, I don't know what's going on, and that she was pregnant. There was no evidence of any of the above. The body camera showed none of the above. She had her hands up. I mean, she never had her hands up. She had a gun in her hand. She reached for the gun. That's why she got shot. She tried to run away. That's why she got shot. But the narrative though, is that she was shot as an unarmed black woman who was 5 months pregnant. That is not true.
All right,
That's not true.
Listen, if that's the story, I'll give you that. But in the case of Mike Brown,
Mike Brown charged the police officer.
Why is
that's a fact?
It is.
But we've also seen, and like the variable is, of course, it's a different officer in a different scenario.
For sure.
But but that's how it looks to us. We've seen white people literally charge officers that still don't get shot, who get tased first or get a rubber bullet first. Like something happens before they're murdered. They wave knives, they wave guns, and they get to walk away from the situation. So, and like I said, it's a different officer, so you can't. But the optic doesn't. It just doesn't feel good when you see. You know what I'm saying? Which then speaks to police training, and it's always been an argument. You can become a police officer faster than you can become a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's not enough training. And the major difference now is police don't live in the communities they serve. So there's no relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have relationship with people, you can know how to deal with the people in the area you serve. And I mean, we even see that with teachers. Like if we're in the area that we teach in, you have a greater feel for what's happening in the community, and you can address those things better than to be completely disconnected from the community that you serve. So like, it's the optics don't look good. I get what you're saying, and you're right. Like it's not every, and we've been saying that all night. It's not every, it's not all, it's not even most. Like one is one too many.
The flip side of that too, though, is we need that balance, because at the same time, when we don't have somebody that may not be from that community, right, who knows the person and develop that relationship. On the other side, there is those that may not be from that community, and the relationship is already started off on a negative connotation, and there's already that animosity. I don't like this person. I don't like this person. So that relationship is building, and that's where a George Floyd or whatever comes about. They already have that. I don't know this person. I've had many encounters with them. It's that emotion that gets the best of them, and so there needs to be that balance. Like, wow, why didn't it?
Y'all need to watch the Candace Owens documentary on George Floyd. That's all I'm saying about it. I need to watch the Candace Owens documentary on George Floyd.
Not only that, we all just need to continue to dig deep. Don't just take the first media headline you see. Don't even take our word for it. Go ahead and dig deep into it. You know what I'm saying? Dig deeper into it, because I best believe, even after our show was here, we said, what? All right, we dig deeper into it and come back, because we like to be knowledgeable about what we're talking about.
Yep. And that is the point of this, right? The most organic conversation on the internet. That is the whole point of this, is to keep the conversation going and to talk about all these things. So look, you can agree with me or disagree. You might agree with Kev, disagree, doesn't matter. Look, take a look for it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Watch some of the documentaries we're talking about. Go back and actually review some of these cases and actually review some of the things that happen beyond the narrative part. Well, I'm telling y'all, we as black folk, we being lied to about a lot of shit when it comes to the media and how things are being portrayed. We're being lied to about a lot of stuff. Don't take my word for it. Look for it yourself. Look into it yourself. Don't worry, there'll be more. I'm gonna put y'all on the path. But I'm telling you, man, we being lied. I'm not discrediting what you're saying, because what you're saying is legit, right? I'm not discrediting that. What I'm saying is that I don't believe it's nearly as big or as bad as it's been made out to be. And if we really look at the actual stats, not like that.
Well, and everything is relative, which is because I'm a big proponent that black on black crime is not a thing. it's a crime of proximity because like I say white on white crime all the time because I want it to be as household as black on black crime. But again, if you're living in a predominantly white area, white on white crime is going to be the prevalent kind of crime because it's majority white people. You know what I'm saying? If you live in a predominantly black area, it's going to be majority black crime because that's what's in your area. If you're in a majority Hispanic area, it's going to be Hispanic on Hispanic crime because that's who's in your area. So like it's it's stuff like that.
So we take a space like Chicago, for example, was 1/3 white, 1/3 Hispanic, 1/3 black. Right? But 70% of the murders committed in Chicago are black on black. So again, let me say that again: 1/3 black, 1/3 white, 1/3 Hispanic, but 70% of the murders in Chicago are black on black. That's a culture issue.
I'm not arguing the culture part, but what goes into the culture, like because
promoted by who, instituted by who, and so we gotta we can go deeper than that.
We be promoted by who and instituted by who? It's black folk killing black folk.
So again, like the crab in a barrel syndrome didn't come from anywhere. It's like, or didn't come from nowhere. Like this belief that we have to, in order to, comes from somewhere. And I know we have to get away from it at some point, but it's hard to get away from something that's been indoctrinated for so long. And I mean, we can look at a number of things. We had the colorism conversation, which is, goes back to the brown bag test, the baby doll test. Well, you give a child a white doll and a black doll. Which one is more intelligent? Which one is prettier? Which one is this? Which one is that? It's literally been indoctrinated. So it takes so long to break what has been taught for so long that like that's where we are. So to tell a black person the only way you're going to survive or thrive is to get rid of, like the same thing is happening around you. Like in smaller scale, I like my heart was broken after Nicki Minaj and Cardi B started to beef. They started to beef because people said two good female MCs can't exist in the same space. And so
who said that though?
White people. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like white people say it's either got to be her or her because that's who decide what your singles are. That's your A&Rs, the presidents of which are they're white people who believe they know black culture say this is what sells, so it's got to be this. Or you're going to stay in the media if you beef with, and they push that. I'm not saying we have nothing to do with it, because at the end of the day, you got to say, like, I'm better than this, or like, we can coexist. So Motorsport was like my favorite record. And when I listened to Motorsport and heard Cardi B and Nicki on the same track, I said both of them bodied their verses. And then what I wanted from that was a Cardi, Nicki, and Megan Thee Stallion song. But because Cardi and Nicki started to beef, there was no way that you were going to hear all of them. And it's why I love Megan so much. Megan don't beef with no female artists. Like, she just want to work. So, and she has. She's got a song with Nicki. She's got a song with Cardi. She's got a song with Beyonce. And she's never said, I can't be great while somebody else is, you know what I'm saying? So, like, what
was their beef? Oh, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't follow most of that shit. What was their beef for?
I mean, it was literally that. Who's the queen of rap? You know what I'm saying? Who's the hottest whatever? And so you have people, you know what I'm saying, in your ear, like, if you don't beef with her, then whatever. And of course, then there are like smaller things that start to come off of that. Sure. It's this club of parents and this, whatever. But like, it literally started with two queens can't coexist. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, which again starts at the top. I am the president of this, and I want all of my records to sell. I don't want anybody else to have whatever. So I'm gonna tell you, blah, 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 and I'm gonna just keep feeding that to you until you believe that you gotta go at whatever to make yourself elevate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it's
more than dialectic.
So like,
I ain't ready for that conversation.
So it's just it's a lot. But I think, you know what I'm saying, like I said, that's smaller scale, but that's literally what's happening. Like, we're not allowed to all be great at the same time. It's either got to be Rich or Kevin. It's got to be Trey or Q. It can't be all of us at the same time, because if we're all succeeding,
who says that though?
And
I'm asking you seriously.
I think that's what he's trying to say.
like that's
He's trying to say that there's someone, right, pulling the strings saying that, well, you all can't be great. Somebody's got to be at the top.
And
Okay,
it sounds about white.
My question is, who buys into that?
Who's got the money?
Who buys into that?
Who's got the money? Who's paying the check?
Listen, World Star is not owned by black people. Shade Room's not owned by black people. Hollywood Unlocked is not owned by black
But
people.
who uses that? Who are the proponents of it?
But that's what I'm saying. It's psychological. Like
Hegelian dialectic.
It's psychological. So we're not the owners of it, but we're the consumers of it.
Yep.
And so like I do believe that, like I said, because I said we choose what we're going to be, you know what I'm saying, like what we're going to subscribe to. But there's something to being saturated with, you know what I'm saying, like even when you're trying to stay away from it, you're still going to come into like at some point. And before I got to a place of self-awareness and all of that, I could be easily sucked in to, you know what I'm saying, negativity and culture. Like there was a point where I ran to a fight instead of saying, oh, I don't even know what could jump off from this, so let me walk away. So like there's so much that's just, it just is there.
And I feel like we'll never know the answer to who started this type of situation, especially within the industry, because you still have to think this is something that went on for decades. Like even look back at music when Pac and Biggie, we didn't like both had to be one or the other because it was a rivalry, and that's what's been perpetuating a lot of the record sales back then, and it still repeats. So apparently rivalries have to sell records, but we're in a day and age where no, we can coexist. And I think whoever perpetuated this to start off with sales, it just repeats.
But the thing about it is that we've talked about this a few times. Drama sells. You know what I mean? Drama sells. Emotion sells. And if you can get people emotionally entangled, you can get people emotionally invested, then you got them for real. I'm gonna get to some of these comments real quick. This was addressing me directly, right? All right, so you're an automatic threat by having darker skin with dreads. Your dreads alone put you under the scope. Here in the DMV, gentleman with the hat, that's me. I'm the gentleman with the hat. All right, not saying that all officers are racist, because they are not, but when they go and look for the suspect, I'm trying to use the rest of it. Hold on. So when they go and look for the suspect, best believe that you're getting stopped and harassed. Let's see, what else does it say? Here we go. I'm getting stopped and harassed, not questioned and harassed, because I fit the same description. All right, look, let me tell y'all something real quick. All right, I've joked about this a lot, and it's the truth, right? I fit all the descriptions, okay? 6'4", 200 plus pounds, dark skin, dreadlocks, tattoos, okay? I fit all the descriptions. I completely understand that. Right? Is the description, as we joked around about before, is a black male somewhere between 4 feet and 7 feet tall, somewhere between a bald head and long dreadlocks, somewhere between light skin, somewhere between Kevin's complexion and my complexion. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. All right. Listen, Richard made a point earlier. How are you carrying yourself when you out here in these streets?
But that's not fair though.
What do you mean it's not fair? So
listen, New York had to put stop and frisk. Had to stop, like they put it right because black males were the majority of the stop and frisk. It should not matter if I'm walking down the street in a business suit or I'm walking down the street in a sweatsuit with a hoodie put over my head. I should be able to be whatever I feel like being that day without being stopped and frisked. You know what I'm saying? So like,
and that's part of the reason why they put a stop to that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but it took a while to get there, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we have to deal with so much wrong before they stop doing the wrong.
But people are fallible people. Like there's gonna be stuff like that. We can't expect everything to be perfect all the time.
But why does fallible always affect us?
Fallible affects hold on. Fallible affects everybody, not just us. Now, might it affect us more so than others? I'll give you that. But it affects everybody, not just one group.
And I'm not saying it doesn't affect one group. But I mean, we can even look at, so even now that like you can get a medical license for marijuana, there's still more black people incarcerated for like small possessions of pot than there are white people. So like, you know what I'm saying? And it's been that way. So like there are historical.
Why is that though? Is that because fewer white people smoke weed, or because fewer white people are selling it on the street?
Or is it because the judge did?
I was gonna say, which judge you can look at the way that they, you know what I'm saying, like make decisions on their cases. Judges are or have been traditionally harder on black criminals because they are, you know, if you did wrong, you did wrong. But I'm saying like the sentencing is harder on blacks than it is on whites.
I agree with that, and I think if that's the case, I think that's absolutely wrong. I'm not sitting here saying that everything that we have is perfect, right? If that's the case, there are absolutely some things that are racially driven that impact us negatively as a whole, impact our community negatively as a whole. I don't believe, however, that it's most things, all things, or the majority. I think a lot of things are an issue within ourselves. I'm talking about within the black community. A lot of things are issues within ourselves that if we do better, then those things we have less to worry about.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, right? The bottom line of what you're saying is we need to fix ourselves.
Yeah, that basically what I've been saying.
I know, and I get that. I think the problem is, or the issue is, right? It's been ingrained already.
I see that question right there. We're gonna get to
ingrained. All right, it's been ingrained already that I can't trust you, man. You look like me, but I can't trust you.
Yeah. Well, because everybody that look like me ain't for me.
I mean, that's that. But even so, the one thing I didn't get to, but because he said it, I think about Hampton. Hampton, their school of business did not allow their students to have dreads because they considered them unprofessional.
Yeah, I thought that was bullshit.
Exactly. But where did that come? Like Hampton didn't just say, "Oh, we're just gonna do." Like again, there's something above it that says like they're made to think because like it looks unprofessional to white people when you show up to an interview with dreadlocks, like you're supposed to have a buzz cut.
Who says?
But to that same point, Hampton is an HBCU, is it not?
It is. But I'm saying,
Hampton is. But Hampton Institute.
I never subscribed to Hampton for the record.
Right.
They're HBCU, but I'm gonna drag them.
Who's the real HU?
They're not the real HU. They're HIU.
And they're scammers too. So we'll get that's a story for another day.
For sure, we'll definitely get into
all HUs are trash.
Yeah, it's trash.
Howard is how what people think Howard is supposed to be. We'll come to that later.
Don't worry, we're gonna get into that one. But okay, so but Hampton, here's my point. Hampton is a black institute, black students, black owned, black ran, black privately owned.
Who still want to appease white people?
But they are the ones that decided.
They did. I fault them, but I'm saying like you don't just wake up and decide that. It's like what you again. So white people say, "Oh, well, you're so unprofessional." Just like we had to put into law that natural hair is not unprofessional. Like
that's something
you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So like because they have and I believe it is a rational fear of what their students will receive once they get into the real world, that they try to create something to protect them. So it's not just that we believe that this is wrong, it's like we're fearful of how you will be received in the white man's world. You know what I'm saying? So like it's a
but rather than let their students know about that, they implemented a rule.
Which that's what we say they're wrong for.
Right, and that's what I say. Like when we talk about like the what we just talking about, Cardi and Nicki Minaj, right? When they're that's kind of my point. Like who perpetuated and peddled this beef? You know, okay, maybe it came from. I'm just throwing Sony out there. I don't know. I'm just saying Sony. Maybe it came from a Sony or somebody like that. But who peddled it and kept it going? It was us. It was us. So if we know that these things are there, then they're designed to hurt us. Why do we continue to indulge in it?
Because in some instances it hurts your bottom line. So
for us to indulge in it,
I'm saying yes, because so I'm specifically thinking about the music part. Go get some ice. I'm specifically thinking about the music part. If a company feels like this is the best single that you should put out, and you're like, well, it's I did the record, but it's still not what I want to put out there.
Sure.
You're like, now you're fighting with the people who you're under contract with. So like,
you're not independent, of course.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like, vast majority of artists are not. If you're not going on a Chance the Rapper route, like you don't own, you may own your name, but you don't own your publishing. You may own your publishing, but you don't, like, you're not the sole writer on your song. So something
Chance
like
the Rapper's conservative, by the way. Just want to put that out.
Yeah, no. So like you're running into some kind of issue somewhere, and so like you have to concede some things because a part of you is not fully yours. Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's just hard all around. Like, because there are artists who, Lauryn Hill is the biggest one. Like, I want to be this.
I want to like you,
but I sold. But because I didn't understand it when I came into it, I don't own nothing.
Sure.
So like, I can't be this. I can't sing this. I can't even tour with my own music. Like, I saw Lauryn Hill live. Everything she sang had to have some like reggaeton, Afrobeats kind of mixed to it, because she couldn't take a beat, she couldn't take a melody, like she had to change everything. So like it's a little bit of everything.
I don't disagree with that. Let me just very, very clear. I am not saying that we have the perfect union, right? We still have work to do. We have a lot of things that we need to address, a lot of abnormalities and racial tension that needs to be addressed. Straight up. What I suggest and what I say about Black folk is that what the fuck would you do, man?
I got ice.
I don't know what the fuck's going on behind this wall. But what I suggest is that Black people at some point, stop peddling our own demise. Like, stop contributing to things that are demonstrative to us. That's more so where I come from. Like, there is a level, yes, there's absolutely a level of racism and some other stuff that's above us is on, but there is a lot of things that come down to personal responsibility, that come down to individual or household responsibility, and those are the things that I think that we miss because we're so busy playing the victim.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's where my issue is. Like, again, I don't think that guns are not the problem. I think we have a mental health problem. I think we have an evil problem. Like, because evil is in the world. Straight up. Like, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he doesn't exist. Yeah. Right? And so we automatically, when we see bad things like Uvalde, Texas happen, we automatically think, why would God allow that to happen? But that negates the existence of the devil. In this world, we're all born in the sin, right? So evil still exists in the world, on earth. Right?
We all have free will.
Have free will. And the free will, unfortunately, what the will to do is right. That's a fact, right? It is what
we also have the free will to allow the spirit to come upon us.
Absolutely. I agree.
Right? Different spirit, right?
Yeah.
So you can allow it on the set. So and it boils down to the person.
Yeah.
Right? It boils down to the person. Like if
Yeah.
I'm gonna be an evil person, I'll be an evil person.
Right.
If
And
I'm gonna be a
the thing
righteous
is,
person,
unfortunately,
I'm a righteous person.
you can't legislate good and evil. I wish we could, but we can't really legislate evil. First, that's the reason why I personally am a fan of concealed carry or open carry. Right, that is the reason why, because you can't legislate good or evil. There was a story, y'all may not have heard about it. There was a story about 2 days after the Uvalde, Texas shooting. There was a young lady, and I don't remember where it was. I want to say it was in Oklahoma. I could be wrong. But there was a woman there who open carry or whatever. I mean, but she actually stopped with her, open carry. She actually stopped somebody who was going into, I believe it was a school, who was going into the school, who seemed to have plans on shooting up said school, right? Because she is a law-abiding citizen, the ability to have a gun, right? Is it everybody that's going to be like that? Absolutely not. People, 1/3 of everybody who has a gun has no previous background, has no previous illegal background, like background of doing illegal shit. Like 1/3 of them. And they still commit at some point they commit illegal shit. So to your point, just because they obtained it legally doesn't mean that they're going to do everything the right way. To your absolute point. And I think it would be wrong to penalize the law-abiding extremists who go the opposite way.
Right. So, so to your point as well, right? It would be up to the community, right, to be able to recognize that. And I think we've gotten away from community as a country.
We got. We got away from family. We talked about that earlier in the show. We got away from family. We got away from fathers. Community. Yeah.
All of it. Oh man, we got.
There's a lot going on, man.
We got a lot to. I want to thank each and every one of y'all.
For the record, the MTV. No. It was an album. She recorded it and it sold. So
that was
2 albums.
She did Miseducation.
Miseducation and MTV Unplugged. Yeah, and it sold, and I had it. So 2 albums. I'm not saying it was the second one wasn't as good as the first.
I just wanted to show up to
an album though. I do just wanted to show up one time.
I just wanted to show up one time.
Well, I mean, is she really getting the proceeds from it? Is that still on the taxes?
No, I think she's done with that.
Okay.
Let us know.
It's been 25 years into the IRS.
In a long time. Well, then that's a whole other problem right there. How the damn IRS look at it?
Yeah, that's a whole
other
other topic. Definitely want to dig into.
So
we did. We did. Right. We came out with another.
I'm down to it because I'm sick of her. I'm sick of him.
And didn't address certain things.
No.
See, not address certain things. I was like,
go ahead.
Somebody really supposed to.
I'm gonna take the shot.
Video
I'm down to it.
That wasn't real. That was a comedian. So look. Hold on, before we take the shot. But TikTok that's going around circulating right now that says, "Oh, so he got this from a movie." That's not real. Okay, that skit that came out after. I can't. Oh man, I'm next week.
Let me finish your thought.
But yeah, that's not. Is a guy. As a comedian, I'm sorry.
I'm down to the whole saga. I just
take this. All right, so look, so Jay, Chris_2 just for you. We are going to bring this back up next week. We're going to come right back to this and revisit this question. Actually, this question right here. Whose fault was it? Taylor's fault or Will's fault? We coming back next week. You don't be late. Not about Friday. Don't be late. We're going to talk about that.
I won't be here because I'm down to it.
He's down to it.
I'm down to it.
We're down to it. He's down to it. He's going to be
down. When we get to this part, I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna turn my camera.
He's gonna be the boy character.
I'm not doing that.
That hasn't been unlocked yet.
I'm gonna be you next week.
He's gonna be noob Sabot. Noob Sabot. Y'all know that from Mortal Kombat. We're showing all our age. Showing all our age.
Listen, and real talk, we appreciate y'all hanging in there with us. We know we ran long today. All of this was good. It is.
It's Friday,
so most organic conversation on Al Gore's internet. So like, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Join us. Like everything. So if you got topics, send them to us. Businesses, send them to us. We want to promote. We want to show love. We appreciate y'all being here with us, and I love each and every one of y'all.
Already, man. Real talk, man. We love y'all. This shot right here actually is just to be down to it. This is for y'all. Here we go, fellas. Up to it, down to it. We know what it is. But those that don't do it, we do it because we used to it. So drink, and we out. Thanks again, fam. Look. Like, subscribe, subscribe, share,
Sub-Zero,
enable, subshare, all that shit. No, hit us up on the notifications, man. Enable notifications so you know when we come up with some more stuff. There's more content coming. Follow us everywhere, man. Follow us on YouTube. Black are dope. Women are dope.
Period.
And black fathers matter.
Happy Father's Day every day.
Hey man, look, black fathers matter. Somebody get in here. Look, hey Chris, listen. You make sure you with us next week. I see you with the cups in the comments. You make sure you with us next week. Pour y'all cups, get y'all wine, and all that good stuff together, man. We are out of here, man. We love y'all. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Y'all ain't knew I was gonna get a dance out.
Hey. That's what it is.
Let me see the shoulders work. Don't get too much. Don't get too much. You don't let the shoulders work out here.
Hold the shoulder. Wait till that's all right.
Oh, my bad.
Y'all know. Y'all ain't know. Join us next Friday, 9 o'clock, man. We out of here. Peace. Get out of this, baby.